Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining us, and welcome to Game Day in the Region and the 2025 Class 3A Baseball Regional Championship on the Region Sports Network, streaming live exclusively on the IHSAA Champions Network. We come to you tonight from the Steel Yard in Gary, Indiana, home of the Gary Railcats, as the Andrean Fighting 59ers take on the Highland Trojans for the Class 3A Regional Championship. I'm Leo Staudeher, and I'll be handling all the action of tonight's game, and we have a good one here for the regional championship between the Trojans, who captured their first sectional championship since 2000 with a 13-0 win over Bishop Knoll, and the Fighting 59ers, who have been no stranger to the regional championship. They last won this round in 2023. Highland enters with a record of 17-13 on the year. They were 3-9 in Northwest Crossroads Conference play. They've won their last 6 to finish up the season. Andrean enters with a record of 27-3. They're 11-0 in Northwest Crossroads Conference play. They have won their last 2. Andrean will be the road team tonight, and Highland will be the home team. Moving along, let's take a look at the weather in the area. The first pitch forecast is brought to you by our friends at Economy Electric Heating and Cooling. Tonight's forecast, it's 71 degrees and cloudy here in Gary. There is a slight breeze blowing in, but overall it's a good night for baseball. There will be rain later in the evening around 10 o'clock, but if all goes well, we will have no reason to be here that late. It should be dropping until temperatures around 7 o'clock into the 60s, sunset around 8:20. So that is the game night forecast brought to you by Economy Electric Heating and Cooling, keeping you cool in the summer and cozy in the winter. We'll look at the starting lineups first for the visiting Andrean Fighting 59ers. It's time to introduce the starting lineups for tonight's game. That means we'll turn to the it's time to look at the Great Lakes Sports Hub batting order for the Andrean Fighting 59ers. Blake Coder leads off. He'll be the catcher for Andrean. Mason Barth bats second. He plays short. Caden Maxwell bats third, plays first. Charlie Solers is the cleanup hitter. He plays left field. Stephen Mack is the designated hitter. He'll be batting in the 5 spot. Luke Gobin will be playing right field. He bats 6th. Jet Dutton will be in the 7th spot. He plays second base. Paxton Lukács will be manning center field. He bats in the 8th spot. And Chase Nelson rounds out the 1 through 9 from head coach Dave Pishkure. He will be playing third base. Ivan Mastalski will be the starting pitcher for the Fighting 59ers. We'll have more on him later on in the broadcast. And for the host, Highland Trojans, here's how their lineup will look. Caden Quigg leads off, plays center field. Nate Phillips bats behind him. He'll be playing first base. Kirk Dafshis will be the catcher. He'll be behind the plate. David Klapkowski bats in the cleanup spot. He plays third base. Cash Washik will be the designated hitter. He bats 5th. Brady Boyd plays second base. He bats 6th. Caden Vandermaiden will be the pitcher for the Trojans. He bats 7th. Daniel Zakevica will be the shortstop. He bats 8th. And Justin Slavin rounds out the 1 through 9. He will be playing left field. That's the starting group from head coach Zach Pizer. Again, Vandermeiden on the mound. Noah Damastis will be playing right field as well for the Trojans. He's being hit for by the pitcher. It's a Great Lakes Sports Hub, more than a dome. So we mentioned the starting pitchers. It's time to introduce the starting pitchers for tonight's game. That means we'll turn to the Enigenberg Exteriors Home Improvement Hurlers for tonight, presented by Enigenberg Exteriors. For the home team, Highland will be sending Caden Vandermeiden to the mound. He is committed to Trinity Christian College. He has a record of 3-0 on the year with an ERA of 1.12 in 10 appearances. He's gone 31 1/3 innings of work. With 20 hits against, 12 runs have been surrendered by Vandermeiden. He has earned 5 of those. He's walked 27 batters and struck out 34. He'll have a tough task on the other side of the diamond from Andrean. They'll be sending Ivan Mastalski to the mound, that right-hander, committed to Indiana, one of the top pitchers in the area. For Ivan, he has been a big factor for the Fighting 59ers all season. So this is a good pitching matchup. Both teams sending their aces to the hill We'll see which one prevails. And those are your Enigenberg Exteriors home improvement hurlers for tonight's game. Enigenberg Exteriors, experienced roofing and siding contractors serving Indiana, Illinois, and Tennessee. Visit them on the web at ebergexteriors.com. We are continuing to move closer to first pitch, so stick around with us. We are moments away from the regional championship between Andrean and Highland. You're watching Game Night on the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
At Strachan Van Til, we believe grocery shopping should be simple. Now, shopping is easier than ever with our new and improved website. Find what you need fast. Browse your favorite products, add them to your cart, and check out in just a few quick steps. Choose between convenient in-store pickup or let us handle the heavy lifting. From our shelves to your doorstep, skip the lines, shop your way, and spend more time on what matters most. With our rewards program, enjoy incredible savings and personalized offers every time you shop. Shop online now at strachanvantil.com or download our app today.
Thinking about what to do after high school? Consider a career with Boilermakers Local 374. As a Boilermaker apprentice, you'll earn while you learn. We offer excellent wages and benefits, and as part of our no-cost hands-on apprenticeship program, you'll learn from the best in state-of-the-art training centers and on the job. Become a union Boilermaker and get on your way to a great career. Find out more, visit www.local374.org or call 219-845-1000.
Class 3A Baseball Regional Championship right here on the Region Sports Network. See the starting lineup and non-starters introduced from Andrean. They secured a big win in the sectional championship, 5-2 over Hanover Central. That one carried some extra weight for the 59ers, as that was the team that beat them in their very first playoff game a season ago to defeat, at the time, the defending state champion 59ers. So they picked up a big statement win against Hanover and are looking to keep things rolling here against Highland. And for Andrean, 8-time state champs. They were last state championship was in 2022. They're number one in the PBR 3A rankings for Indiana, so they might have a bit of a target on their back here against Highland. They've been one of the top teams in the state all season long, and they're trying to avoid any slip-ups here in the regional championship against the team they have faced and defeated twice already this season. So you see Andrean with the white uniforms with scarlet numbers, some stripes along the edge of the sleeves as well. White pants and scarlet caps complete the look for the 27-3 Northwest Crossroads Conference champion Andrean 59ers. 17-2 at home, 6-1 on the road. So just 3 losses in total for Andrean. And to add to that impressive total, only 1 loss to a team from the state of Indiana. 1 loss to an in-state opponent. That was to Indiana Christian. The prior 2 losses were to teams from Illinois, so it's been a good season for the 59ers, but none of that matters except the game at hand tonight. It doesn't matter what you've done in the past. All that matters is the starting 9 you're throwing out, the pitcher you throw out, and if you can back it up against a Highland team that has made some history this season, as we'll see their non-starters and then their starters introduced. Highland, we mentioned, 13-0 win over Bishop Knoll in the sectional championship. Their first sectional title since 2000, so obviously a long time coming for the Trojans. That is a lot to be proud of, and they are still looking to add to that here against the 59ers of Andrean. They'll be sending Keaton Vandermeiden, who pitched in that sectional championship. He will be on the hill tonight. We see Highland in black jerseys with blue cursive script across the front outlined in yellow, blue numbers with a yellow outline on front and back. White trim along the collars, black caps, and white pants to make up those outfits. And so the Trojans waiting to take the field. They'll be the home team tonight. And you look at that, they've lost to this Andrean squad twice this season. They're trying to get back on track and prove that it is hard to beat a team 3 times in one season. We've seen that in some prior matchups this season where Chesterton had defeated Portage handily twice this year, but then Portage provided a spoiler in the sectional semifinal and upset the Trojans in that one. So maybe Highland trying to take a page out of their book here as we see them taking the field and just moments away from the national anthem. A good day for baseball here in Gary, and it adds to the magnitude of the postseason game when you're playing at a professional stadium and a good crowd from both sides on hand. This is one of those games that if you play in it, you talk about it for a long time with your friends long after completing playing in it. So both teams trying to make sure it's a good memory here tonight at the Steel Yard. So Justin Slavin rounds out the 1 through 9 for the Trojans. He takes the field. Both teams being fully introduced, so we will join the playing of the national anthem, and after that, we'll have baseball between the Trojans and 59ers here on the Region Sports Network.
Hey fans, any live broadcasting of this event, including by spectators, is prohibited without approval of the Indiana High School Athletic Association. When fans get unlimited information and complete championship events by following the IHSAA on Twitter at IHSAA1. That's at IHSAA1.
And with the national anthem being played before game 1, we will not have one here tonight, but the national anthem is courtesy of Bada Boom Fireworks in Lowell and DeMott. You can find great items at Bada Boom with deals up to 50% off select items in Bada Boom Fireworks as we get ready for first pitch. So Vandermeiden working for the Trojans here, trying to subdue the tough bats from Andrean. This is a 59er lineup with several Division I commits, but Vandermeiden will be playing at the collegiate level next season, so he will look to try to get some quality outs and pitch efficiently. When you're in a big postseason game like today, you want to start off ahead in counts. If you give a tough lineup like Andrean, if they're starting off counts 2-0, 3-1, that really puts them in the driver's seat moving forward. So for Vandermeiden, it is so important to start these at-bats off with a strike and get on the offensive here against the 59ers. And for Andrean, you're trying to score early, score often. They have a productive offense, a dangerous offense, so if you can get multiple base runners on, get the line moving in these first couple innings, that really can bode well for the rest of the game. You want to try to, with the first at-bats, try to take Highland out of this game early. As the Trojans, the home team, the 59ers, the road team. So Blake Coder gets ready to step up. Blake Cowder leads things off, the senior catcher for the 59ers. He bats right-handed against the right-hander Vandermeiden. So here we go, 59ers and Trojans here at the Steel Yard Class 3A Regional Championship. Happy to be here. Just a few minutes before 5 o'clock, and we will be underway here in Gary. Righty on righty matchup to start us off. And time is called as one last Andrean player has to hustle into the bullpen in right field. So he makes his way in, and now we are just about ready to get started. Vandermeiden winds and fires his first pitch. Fastball for a strike, and here we go. First pitch at 4:53. It's a strike from the right-hander. So he's ahead in the count. No balls and a strike. Off-speed pitch on the 0-1. It spins in, or actually just outside for a ball. Thought maybe he got that outside corner, but the home plate umpire says otherwise, so the count evened up at a ball and a strike. But this bender will count. That gets the corner. 1-2. So a similar pitch, but this time Vandermeiden gets the spot he was looking for. So we saw good life on the fastball for the first pitch, and then good movement on the breaking ball. Here's the 1-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Cowder goes down swinging for the first out in this game. So a big punch out for Vandermeiden. Mason Barth, the senior shortstop, bats next for Andrean. Barth has been one of the leaders for this Andrean team. He bats left-handed. He'll be playing next season in South Bend for the Fighting Irish. So a Division I bound player batting in the left-handed batter's box. Fastball from Vandermeiden low for a ball. Righty on lefty matchup. Vandermeiden kicks and delivers. The 1-0 gets the far corner for strike 1. He goes with the fastball there. Barth does not offer. And on the 1-1, Barth watches that one go down the middle for strike 2. Took a little something off it and just dropped it over the middle of the plate. And now the shortstop of the 59ers down up to a ball and 2 strikes with 1 away here on the top of the first inning. Here's the 1-2 from Vandermeiden. That misses outside to even the count up at 2-2. So he tried to get him chasing, but that one just carried too far away, and it was an easy take for Barth. So Vandermeiden gets the sign and winds for the 2-2 delivery. This one cracked through the gap between first and second. It rolls to right field to DeMantis. So Barth is on base with a 1-out single. And the batter now for Andrean is Caden Maxwell. Maxwell, the junior, playing first base for Andrean. He's another left-handed batter, so he'll be looking to try to get Barth in motion. As the senior short stops the runner at first base, so Vandermeiden gets ready to work out of the stretch. The tall right-hander looks to the plate, goes with the fastball, gets it to the outer third for a strike. So no balls and a strike. Vandermeiden has done a good job of getting ahead in these counts through the first 3 batters now. He skips that one over to first base, where Barth quickly retreats back to the bag. Phillips scoops it up. Count remains 0-1. So a long set for Vandermeiden. Holds the glove near the belt. Now he fires the 0-1 to the plate. That's inside. It gets away from the catcher. Quickly moving over to second base is Barth. He was going right as the pitch was being thrown. Even if that was a clean catch at the plate, I don't think they would have had a chance to throw him down. So the count evened up at a ball and a strike. So Maxwell, the junior, batting here with a runner in scoring position. The lefty gets ready as Vandermeiden looks over to second base. Now he goes to the plate. The 1-1 inside will go 2-1. So he was looking for that off-speed breaking ball, but it just cut a little too far inside. 2 balls and a strike. And as Barth, the runner at second base, steps out to about a 3-step lead. The 2-1 pitch. That squeaks out of the glove of the catcher, and that will allow Barth to go to third base. He turns the corner, but he seems content with staying there. So Dapshis has the ball. It was going high. He gets the glove on it, and it just squeaks out of the top of it and rolls all the way behind him. And he had that brief moment where he looked to his left, looked to his right, couldn't locate it, realized the ball must be behind him and had to chase it down. So the count now 3 balls and a strike with 1 away. There's a runner at first base. And Vandermeiden steps off the rubber. Gives both players a chance to think things over and get ready for this 3-1 delivery. And the next pitch. This one driven towards right field. That will drop and roll to the right fielder. It will allow Barth to score. That's an RBI single for Maxwell. And Andrean gets on the board in the top of the first inning with 1 away. So making a 1-0 lead for Andrean early on here with Charlie Solers batting, and they will be looking to try to keep adding to this lead with Maxwell at first base. And Solers puts this one in the air to center field towards right center. DeMantis is able to camp out under that one and make the catch for out number 2. So swinging at the first pitch was Solers, and he just flies it out to right field. So 2 away now for the designated hitter, Stephen Mack. Cowder struck out to start the inning, then Barth singled. He stole second, advanced to third on a passed ball. He was driven in on an RBI single for Maxwell. First pitch to Mack, high for ball 1. So another lefty near the top of the lineup for Andrean. Mack, the senior, trying to help his team make their way downstate. Mack lifts this one foul towards the concourse. Evens count up at a ball and a strike. So with the runner at first base, Andrean still threatening here with 2 away in the top of the first inning. 1 run has crossed already in this inning. Fastball with the 1-1 count is low and away for ball 2. So 2 balls and a strike to Mack, looking to deliver for his team. The pitch. Mack fouls that one away just a little bit early. It twists high and away over the balcony towards the street. So the count evened up at 2-2 with 2 away. Mack is down to his last strike. The breakthrough pitch from Vandermeiden is jammed towards right field. It rolls to DeMantis. It's a single for Mack. Going for third base is Maxwell. He will slide headfirst safely. So the 59ers get a 2-out single for Mack, and they're threatening here with runners at first and third. So all 3 hits so far have been similar pieces of contact. Just swings from left-handed batters that have cleared the infield and rolled to the right fielder. So Luke Gobin batting now for Andrean. Gobin, another left-handed batter. He works with 2 away and runners at first and third. Here's the pitch from Vandermeiden. He chops it high in the air to the left side of the diamond. The third baseman, Klapkowski, he drops it. He called for it, and it lands just a couple of inches to his left. On a day where the sun is still up, that could have been tricky. And so that will put 2 on for the 59ers. That will advance Mack to second. And that's just a break that Highland can't afford to give Andrean here with 2 away. That could have got you out of the inning. But instead it will bring Jet Dudden to the plate to take some swings. There's a meeting at the mound for Highland. Taking a look down at their right field bullpen, it doesn't appear that they have anyone throwing yet. But likely, this is their top pitcher talking things over, trying to cook up a recipe to get out of this inning. So 2 runs have scored now as Maxwell crossed the plate on that error. He was the runner at third base, so he crossed, and Barth scored earlier on an RBI from Maxwell. So now it's up to Jet Dudden. Dudden, the junior, playing shortstop tonight. Works in the right-handed batter's box against the right-handed pitcher, Vandermeiden. He's got runners at first and second with 2 away. And time is called by the batter. He will step out. And you know who has to appreciate this 2-run first inning is the starting pitcher, Ivan Mastalski. He's still warming up in the right field bullpen and gets to start the day with a lead already. The first pitch. Dudden pokes it towards right field. It's carrying towards the seats. It will land in about the 3rd row. So not playable for the first baseman, Phillips. He gave chase, but just it sliced a little too far from his reach. So no balls and a strike to Dudden with a runner at first and second. Gobin, the runner at first. Mac at second. The 0-1 pitch. It's inside and it gets a piece of him. It hits Dudden. That will load the bases with 59ers. So Andrean is threatening. They have a white jersey at every base now. Mac goes from second to third. Gobin from first to second. And now Dudden, you can put him at first base. Paxton Lukács will bat, the sophomore center fielder, with a teammate at every base. 2 away. The pitch from Vandermeiden. Fastball low for ball 1. So a big spot here for Andrean. Top of the first inning. They lead 2-0. The 1-0 near the hands. It's jammed up high behind home plate. The catcher looks up and he drops it. It goes in and out of his glove. Dafshis was able to camp out under it. It took him about 12 feet to his left, and it just goes off the heel of his glove and down to the grass. So you give Lukács another strike here. Count even up at a ball and a strike. You give him a second chance. He will look to make Highland pay for that. Here's the 1-1 pitch. That's low. It squeaks behind the catcher. It goes all the way to the backstop. Hustling to the plate is Mac. He will score. It's a 3-0 lead for Andrean. The other base runners advance as well. Gobin ends up at third base. Dudden at second. So Andrean continues to add to their lead. 2 runners in scoring position with 2 away for the sophomore center fielder Lukács. The count 2 balls and a strike. Here's the pitch from Vandermeiden. He shows bunt. He jabs it high in the air. It goes over the screen and into the seats. Bounces around. That was not the bunt attempt he wanted, as he was under it and just carried it upward all the way behind the screen to protect fans. You don't see that a lot on a bunt. One that gets that kind of elevation and goes backward. If he straightened that out, if that went the opposite way, that might have gone to the end of the infield. But instead it went backwards and pinballed around the seats back here. The 2-2. Called strike 3 right down the middle. Lukács does that offer. That will end the inning. But Andrean puts 3 runs on the board on 3 hits. So Highland will get ready for their first at-bats. They'll try to answer back. Stick around. You're watching coverage of the 2025 Class 3A Baseball Regional Championship on the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
Calling all current and future homeowners in the Northwest Indiana area. Whether you're buying or selling, Brent Wright is here to make your real estate journey smooth and successful. With years of experience, personalized service, and a deep knowledge of the market, Brent will help you find the perfect place or get the best deal for your property. Call today at 219-406-7195 and take the first step toward your real estate goals. Contact Brent Wright, the right way to buy and sell real estate.
With offices in Munster and Cedar Lake, Ethos Dental Group offers a full scope of general and cosmetic dentistry with expertise ranging from porcelain veneers to dental implants, crowns, and bridges. At Ethos Dental Group, you're assured that Dr. Mark Stojkovic and his associates, Dr. Emily Hansen and Dr. Brian Douts, utilize the latest in technology. Check out ethosdentalgroup.com or call 219-595-3432 to schedule an appointment. Ethos Dental Group, dental care you can believe in.
Be sure to stay connected with all things Region Sports by supporting and following us on social media. We're always active on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, X, and online at regionsports.com. Celebrating over 25 years, we're proud to still be the only game in town. Bottom of the first inning, and we'll see Highland take their bats for the first time. It'll be Quigg, Phillips, and Dapshis to lead things off the 1-2-3. They will try to answer after the 59ers put up 3 runs in the top half of that inning. An RBI single from Maxwell. Max scored on a wild pitch. And then we saw Barth score too. So there was a big frame for the 59ers to put a couple runs on the board. Put 3 runs on the board, actually, but... And now we see the catcher. I believe he's having a problem with the PitchCom software, maybe, and had to go back to the dugout, so Cowder ends up back behind the plate. Ivan Mastalski fires his first pitch. The righty speeds it low for ball 1. And the 1-0, that's low as well. So for Highland, this is one strategy against a tough pitcher. A Division I bound product. Take some of these early pitches, force him to extend his pitch count. There's another high and outside pitch. He's looking for the fastball, but just hasn't quite put it in the zone against Caden Quigg, who has walked 15 times this season. The 3-0 pitch will make it 16 walks for Quigg. He ends up on base, and so for Quigg, we're going to have to watch for him at first base. He set the record for Highland for most stolen bases in a single season with 29 and counting here. If he can get off to a good jump, we can maybe see him scoot over to second base quickly. Down by 3, we'll see if Highland wants to get a little aggressive with Quigg. Nate Phillips, the freshman, bats with nobody out and a runner on first base. He takes a first pitch strike from Mastalski. Phillips plays first base today. He's batting .279 on the season with 24 hits. He's driven in 22 runs. So the underclassman gets ready. Mastalski throws over to first base, but Quigg slides back safely. Another checkup over at first base. Quigg avoids the tag. So count no balls and a strike to Nate Phillips. Mastalski steps off, throws over to first base. So that's 3 tosses over to first since the last pitch. Quigg has been able to get back safely each and every time. The 0-1. Fastball catches the outer third of the plate for strike 2. So Phillips quickly down to his last strike. 0-2 in the count. So Mastalski gets the sign from his catcher, Cowder. He pitches from the stretch for the 0-2. Poked away foul. Phillips doing a good job to get the end of the bat on that one to stay alive in this at-bat. So a member of the Andrean dugout will have to chase that foul ball down before we can resume play here. So Mastelski throws over. Quigg gets back in time. Count remains no balls and 2 strikes. Phillips trying to avoid becoming the first out here in the bottom of the first inning. The pitch. Phillips swings at that high fastball for strike 3. He can't catch up to it. The punch out marks the first out of the inning. So Mastelski with good life on that fastball was able to elevate that one, trying to get Phillips to climb the ladder with it. He could not. So he swings for the first out. And Kirk Dapschus will bat here, the junior catcher, batting .301 on the season. He's driven in 14 runners. He works with Quigg at first base. First pitch fastball, called strike 1. The left-handed batter, Dapschus, did not offer. Quigg steps out about a foot away from first base. The 0-1 fouled backwards towards the press box level. It rattles off a window of a vacant suite a few rows over to our left. So that makes the count 0-2. With 1 away, runner at first base. Mastelski peeks down at the catcher, gets the sign. He throws over to first base, but Quigg slides back safely. The throw was high, so Maxwell had to reach up to get it. There really wasn't going to be a chance he was going to tag Quigg there. More so just to let him know you're thinking of him. Keep him in check. Now the 0-2. Fastball high and away makes the count a ball and 2 strikes. So Mastelski peeks down at Coder, gets ready. He looks to the dugout for the 1-2 count, the 1-2 pitch against the lefty. The 1-2 fouled back towards the screen near the Highland dugout. Count remains a ball and 2 strikes. So Dapschus with 3 doubles, 2 triples on the year, 22 hits. He's driven in 14 runs. Bats here with a runner at first base, 1 away. His team chasing 3. The 1-2, fastball high, evens the count at 2-2. So the junior catcher, Dapschus, trying to help his team get back in this game. The 2-2 pitch. Fastball called strike 3, back-to-back punch-outs for Mastelski here in the first. He was able to get Phillips swinging and Dapschus looking. Now David Klapkowski, the junior third baseman, bats with 2 away and a runner at first base. So for Highland, you got your top base stealer on base, but he's been held at first through the last 2 batters. Another throw over to first. Quigg slides back safely. A good tag applied by Maxwell, but he was able to get the hands on the bag. But so for Highland, you don't want to leave Quigg stranded at first base. You get an opportunity like this, you want to get him moving. First pitch, high for a ball, especially after you spotted Andre in a 3-run lead in the top half of this inning. You want to try to chip into it early on. The 1-0. That is inside. Ducking out of the way is Klapkowski. It caught the back of the helmet. And so that hits him. That will move Quigg over to second base. Klapkowski hit by the pitch. He's the runner at first. And now the batter, Cash Washik, the junior designated hitter. Washik batting .260 on the season. He'll be in the left-handed batter's box. So Washik batting .260 this season. He's driven in 10 runs, 3 doubles, and a triple. He works with Quigg at second base and Klapkowski at first. Mastelski looks over to second, fires a fastball to the plate. It's a good one. It'll be called strike 1. So no balls and a strike. Righty against lefty. Batter at the plate. Washik. The 0-1 is called, strike two, so back-to-back good fastballs over the heart of the plate from Mastalski. Start this count off 0-2. He'll be looking to try to pick up his third strikeout of the inning with runners at first and second. He looks over to the runner at second. That's Quigg. He goes to the plate here. Fastball high. Makes it a 1-2 count. So Quigg and Mastalski, there's been a good back and forth. Mastalski has checked up on him about 6 or 7 times in this inning. Hasn't been able to get him. But he's definitely been mindful of the speedy runner. The 1-2, foul away towards the Highland dugout. A player reaches out, tries to make the one-handed catch. He does not, so that's going to sting. I believe that was Damian Castellanos, the sophomore. He reached up, tried to glove it with the left, well, not glove it, tried to grab it with the left hand. Couldn't quite make the play. So the count of 1-2 strikes, and time is called by Washik. So the lefty steps back into the plate against Mastalski, the Indiana commit. The 1-2 pitch. Fouled off the screen near the Highland dugout again. So he's been able to stay alive, fouling off 2. And that might not seem like much early on here, but in the first inning, when you can foul away the 2-strike pitch multiple times, that adds to the pitch count and could maybe take something off the back end of the outing for Mastalski. And Highland trying to tax his pitch count. And instead of throwing the 1-2, Mastalski steps off the mound, looks the runner back to second base. So 2 strikes. 2 away, 2 on. Highland trailing Andrean 3-0. And Mastalski steps off again. He's really been focusing on that runner, Quigg, whether it was when he was at first or now at second. He's checked up on him quite a few times. The 1-2. That'll be in there for strike 3. He catches Washik looking. He strikes out the side. That will end the inning. 3 punch-outs for Mastalski. Highland does not answer. We're through 1 inning as you're watching coverage of the 2025 Class 3A Baseball Regional Championship on the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
Summer just got sweeter at Smoothie King of St. John. Introducing 5 new watermelon smoothies. Power Meal Slim Watermelon, Gut Health Watermelon, Hydration Watermelon, the Activation Recovery Watermelon, and the Extreme Watermelon. All here for a limited time only at Smoothie King of St. John. Open 7 days a week. Smoothie King is conveniently located across from Lake Central High School. Stop in today. Smoothie King of St. John.
Flip the switch, a light turns on. Press the button, machines and instruments come to life. Touch the screen, communicate with the world. Simple tasks, guaranteed results, every second of every day. That's the power of power. And that's the power brought to you by the NECA contractors and electrical workers of Local 531.
Don't forget to visit regionsports.com, Facebook/RegionSportsNation, and Instagram for this week's Powering Indiana Peak Performers presented by NECA, Powering Indiana of Lake County, Powering Indiana, the region's most trusted electricians. Chase Nelson leads off for Andrean. Nelson, the number 9 hitter in the lineup, so he'll be followed by Blake Cowder and Mason Barth. Andrean leads 3-0 here in the Class 3A Regional Championship. The winner of this game will face Delta, who won their regional championship earlier today, 5-2. So Delta able to monitor this game, knowing they have their ticket punched. They know who they will be facing, and these 2 teams have to take care of business before thinking about the next round. The count 1-0 to Nelson, the sophomore third baseman. The windup from Vandermeiden. He's able to drop a off-speed breaking ball into the zone to even the count up at a ball and a strike. Vandermeiden winds and delivers. Fastball high, makes it a 2-1 count. So these two teams have faced twice in the regular season. Highland fell to Andrean both times. The 2-1. That's high. We go 3-1. It was a 20-0 win for Andrean back on April 28th in the first one, and then a 10-2 victory on the road at Highland a day later. So they swept the season series in the regular season, but now in the postseason, none of that matters. It's just all about trying to break even. The 3-1 pitch is high and away, so that will walk Nelson. The leadoff runner is on base, and Blake Cowder will bat with a runner on, nobody out. But it could be so hard to beat a team 3 times in one season. Andrean is trying to do just that here against a conference opponent here at a neutral site in the regional championship. Cowder struck out swinging against Vandermeiden in his first at-bat. The first pitch is low in the dirt. Starts to count off 1-0. There's some activity in the Andrean bullpen. I think that's just 2 players staying loose, playing long toss. There's no balls and a strike to Cowder. He throws over to check up on Nelson at first base. That is the cool thing about the layout of this ballpark. Both bullpens are next to each other, so we get a good view at whoever could be warming up for either side. The 1-0 pitch. Nelson caught wandering away from the bag. A good throw by Vandermeiden. He catches him. So nicely done by the right-hander from Highland to pick off Nelson. 1 away here in the top of the second. So good job between Vandermeiden and Phillips to realize Nelson was jumping out a little too far from first base. They were able to catch him off guard, throw over, and that could change the complexion of the inning. The count's still 1-0. Cowder calls time, but now if you're working with nobody on base and 1 away, you can just put all your focus at Cowder. The 1-0, this time out of the windup. He speeds it inside for ball 2. It's 2-0 to Cowder, who's trying to get on base for the first time tonight. The pitch. Fastball inside. We go 3-0. So for Vandermeiden, you're trying to find the zone here in the second inning. He did a very good job of that in the first. It was getting ahead in counts. The 3-0. Called strike 1. Cowder had already begun his trot down to first base, but he will have to step back in. That was over the heart of the plate, so it really didn't have much of a case to make for that being ball 4. Now the 3-1 pitch. That's inside. This time it will be ball 4. So Cowder walks. He makes up for Nelson being thrown out. They get that base runner right back as Mason Barth will bat. Barth singled and scored in the first inning. So now we'll see the Notre Dame commit step into the box. That's left-handed. So the senior shortstop trying to help add to this lead for his team. 3 runs on 3 hits for Andrean. Highland was able to get a couple base runners in the bottom half of the first, but left them stranded. Barth had that single, was able to drive it to right field back in the top of the first. Vandermeiden delivers. It goes past the catcher all the way to the backstop. Cowden will end up at second base on that one. So we've seen that a couple times from Highland, a little wildness, and that's allowed runners to advance, get them to scoring position against a strong offense like Andrean. You really can't afford plays like that. And it moves Cowder into scoring position for Barth. A Division I recruit, the 1-0 pitch. High for ball 2. But with a team like Highland, you have to play, or like Andrean, you have to play mistake-free baseball because otherwise they could hurt you. Now we'll see Dapshus talk things over with Vandermyden on the hill, trying to help slow some of the momentum of Andrean here in the top of the second inning. They already have scored 3, and yet we really can't afford to let that lead continue to grow here in the early innings. It was a good job by Vandermyden to pick a runner off, but he's largely been pitching outside of the zone here, something he did a very good job of in the first. He had 2 strikeouts and was ahead against nearly every batter, but he has fallen behind in every at-bat so far. The 3-0 pitch is high, or the 2-0 pitch is high and away. It will make it a 3-0 count, and now we will see a courtesy runner for Andrean. This will be Brady Ellish. Ellish started quarterback for the 59ers football team. The junior takes over running at second base for the catcher, Cowder. So a long set from Vandermyden. He looks over at Ellish. Here's the 3-0 pitch. Fastball away for ball 4. It's another walk. 3 consecutive walks. So Andrean, they had 1 runner picked off, but they've been able to get 3 runners on in this inning without having to swing the bat. The batter now, Caden Maxwell, who had an RBI single in the first. He bats with Ellish at second base and Barth at first base. Barth is on for the second time tonight. First pitch to Maxwell is high and tight. Makes it a 1-0 count. So he is in need of a strike here. And he gets Maxwell to foul that high fastball off. It goes, ricochets off the catcher and all the way back to the wall. So it evens things up at a ball and a strike. That's what he needed. Trying to get 2 of the first 3 pitches in this at-bat for strikes. 2 on, 1 away. And now the 1-1 pitch. Maxwell fouls this back towards the top of the stadium. So now he'll be behind a ball and 2 strikes. Against Caden Vandermyden. He looks down to his catcher, Dapshus. Gets the sign for the 1-2. He looks to Ellish at second base. Now he goes to the plate, and Maxwell lifts it towards the corner in right field. It just hooks too far to the right. It goes foul. It rattles off the corner, and that could have been trouble if it was fair. That was carrying well, but it just sliced a little too far to the right, and it's just a long foul ball for Maxwell, and it could have caused some trouble with the runner in scoring position if he could have come around to score. But now we'll do the 1-2 pitch over again. Vandermyden goes to the plate, and he gets him to swing through that fastball for strike 3. It's the 3rd punch out for Vandermyden, and it's the 2nd out here in the top of the 2nd. So Charlie Solers will bat with runners at first and second and 2 away. His opportunity, or his task here, is to extend the inning. Solers flew out to right field in the first inning, so he'll be facing Vandermyden for the 2nd time tonight, with Ellish at second base and Barth at first. First pitch called strike 1 at the far corner. Solers is a Lincoln Trail Junior College commit, one of several college-bound players on this Andrean squad. And the 0-1. Breaking ball high, evens count up at 1-1. You have Mason Barth committed to Notre Dame, Braden Brannigan committed to Lindenwood, Trent Kulig will be heading to John A. Logan, Stephen Mack to Ohio Northern, Ivan Mastalski to Indiana, and Charlie Solers to Lincoln Trail. The 1-1 pitch. Called strike 2. Was able to drop that one, curling towards that far corner. Good breaking ball from Vandermeiden. And now he's just one strike away from getting out of this inning. And that would be very good for the right-hander from Highland. After 3 walks to start the inning, if you could get out of this one unscathed, he gets Solers to foul that one away high towards the sweet level. Count stays 1-2. So Vandermeiden against Solers. Solers 0 for 1 on the evening. Runners at first and second, 2 away. The 1-2 pitch. He strokes it towards left field. It goes over the head of the shortstop. Turning the corner to the plate is Elish. He will score. Andrean adds another. They extend their lead to 4-0. And we're on the top of the second inning. So Elish running in place of the catcher Cowder. He scores from second base. It's an RBI for Solers. And now Stephen Mack bats with 2 on and 2 away. So Solers now 1 for 2. Mack, he singled and scored in the first inning. The lefty gets ready to work with Barth at second base, Solers at first. 4 runs on 4 hits for the 59ers. So that's where those early walks have come back to hurt the Trojans. Vandermeiden goes to the plate. Bender too high for ball 1. And it looks like we will have activity in the Highland bullpen. Trying to get a look at who that is throwing. Andrean also has a player getting loose, but that might just be trying to stay ready. Now the 1-0. That's high, makes the count 2-0. It's a lefty in the bullpen for Highland. He has a teammate standing in front of him, which makes it rather difficult to read the number. The 2-0. That's inside. I believe that is Joe Stephen, the junior pitcher. With the count 3 balls, no strikes to Mack, with runners at first and second. The 3-0 pitch. Inside for ball 4. It's another walk in the inning. So Andrean has loaded the bases with 2 away. The batter, Luke Gobin. So Vandermeiden and Dapshis will talk it over and make a long walk back to the mound, possibly buying some time. And Gobin reached on an error, made his way over to third base last time up. He becomes the 7th 59er to take an at-bat here in the second inning. They have scored 1 run already after scoring 3 in the first to make it a 4-0 lead. Now the first pitch from Vandermeiden. High for ball 1. And now we'll see a discussion at the mound. Could this be a call to the pen? It might just be. Let's see what ends up happening. So Vandermeiden, the senior right-hander, it looks like he will not hand over the baseball, so he will be staying in this one. The lefty continues to get loose in the bullpen, though, but we might just be seeing Highland buy some time for him. And with 2 away in the inning, you're just a couple of crafty pitches away from getting out. But the concern has obviously been the control for the righty Vandermeiden as he's fallen behind in several counts. So we'll see if maybe there's a mechanical adjustment they're looking to make, just something to get this last out, and maybe go to that new left-hander in the next inning. As it's still early, but you don't want things to slip out of control yet. the count 1-0 to Luke Gobin. Runners at every base. The pitch from Vandermeiden. 1-0 is low. We'll go 2-0. Barth, the runner at third base. Solers, the runner at second, and Mack, the runner at first. The 2-0. Put in the air near the hands. The catcher, Dapshis, throws off the mask. He looks up for it. He collides with the third baseman, Klapkowski. So another defensive miscue for the Trojans that will just result in a strike. The inning will continue. That was a play where you had catcher and third baseman both moving down the third base line trying to get under it, and they just bumped into each other as the ball was closest to the catcher, Dapshis, and he just couldn't make the play. We saw that a couple times in the first inning where what could have been a playable foul ball, just they couldn't make the outs on him. Now the 2-1 pitch is high and away, and when you give a team like Andrean second chances, they can capitalize on it and make this game more lopsided than it could be. As they've scored 4 runs on 4 hits, but some walks and some defensive lapses have contributed to that. The 3-1 pitch fouled away by Gobin, so the count will go full at 3 balls and 2 strikes. With 2 away, runner at every base, it could be head start time. A big payoff pitch here from Vandermeiden to Gobin. Here we go. It's high and outside for ball 4. The walk will score a run. Barth crosses the plate. It's now a 5-0 lead for Highland. Solers goes from second to third, and Mack from first to second. For Gobin, it's an RBI walk. He's on base for the second time tonight. The batter now, Jet Dudden. Jet is the 8th batter for Andrean to take up a bat here in the second inning. First pitch, and Dudden lifts it high to center field. Quick steps back, but he camps out under it for out number 3. But the 59ers put up a crooked number. They add 2 on 1 hit and a few walks. So we are through an inning and a half. Andrean leads Highland 5-0. You're watching coverage of the 2025 Class 3A Baseball Regional Championship on the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
Have you been to Bada Boom Fireworks in Lowell and DeMont yet? They have it all, big and small, from sparklers, spinners, and bottle rockets to artillery shells and aerial repeaters. Visit Bada Boom in Lowell and DeMont and choose from hundreds of items, including cakes, fountains, Big Daddy canister shells, and so much more. Put your love for America on full display this 4th of July. Celebrate our nation's independence and style with an assortment of fun and spectacular fireworks from Bada Boom Fireworks in Lowell and DeMont.
The Athletic Performance Factory is Northwest Indiana's premier athletic training center. The 40,000 square foot state-of-the-art facility features batting cages, a sand training room, a new outdoor turf infield, and so much more. Check out the facility for one of their daily classes at 3150 45th Street in Highland. Interested in signing up for team workouts or individual lessons? Check out their website at trainapf.com or contact them at 219-750-1087. Athletic Performance Factory, where athletes are made.
Blythe's Team Sports in Valparaiso is a leader in athletics apparel and equipment sales. With in-house production including screen printing, trophies, embroidery, and more, Blythe's can help you to create the perfect look. For more information, visit them online at teamblythes.com. Blythe's Team Sports in Valparaiso, where the athletes shop.
At the conclusion of tonight's game, we'll name the Crowell Company's Lantern Man Superhero of the Game. Crowell Company's proud to recognize the superheroes on the diamond. Brady Boyd leads things off here in the bottom of the second inning. He'll be followed by Vandermeiden and Zekavica. So 5-0 Andrean, bottom second. Highland looking for their first hit of the game, and Boyd goes opposite field here, lifts it towards right field, but Gobin able to make the trip over and catches it for out number 1. So 1 pitch, 1 out, and now the pitcher, Keaton Vandermeiden, will bat for Highland with nobody on base and 1 out. So Boyd went aggressive, had to kind of reach for that first pitch from Mastalski and just poked it to right field where Gobin moved inwards and was able to make the catch. First pitch, swing and a miss by Vandermyden. So the pitchers facing off against each other, although there's now a lefty and a righty getting loose for Highland in their bullpen, so you wonder if we will see Vandermyden when we return for the top of the third inning. That next pitch outside evens the count up at 1-1. And Mastalski goes off speed for strike 2. Goes lower in the zone, but spins it in there. So a ball and 2 strikes with 1 down. The fastball just misses. He was looking for that outer corner, didn't get it. Evens things up at 2-2. Vandermyden batting .191 on the season. He checks at that one. It was in the zone. It's strike 3. It's the 4th punch out for Mastalski, and there are now 2 away. Daniel Zakovica up to bat for Highland with 2 away in the last of the second. Zakovica batting .243 this season with 17 hits. He has driven in 16 runs. First pitch, called strike 1. So the 0-1 speeds in for strike 2. So Mastalski, who is pitching with a 5-run lead, has continued to just go right at these Highland hitters. No balls and 2 strikes, the windup and the pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. 5th punch out for Mastalski. It ends the inning. The Trojans go down in 1-2-3 fashion. We're through 2 here at the Steel Yard. Andrean leads 5-0. You're watching coverage of the 2025 Class 3A Baseball Regional Championship on the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
IBEW Local 697 isn't just wiring buildings. We're woven into the very fabric of Northwest Indiana. We're your neighbors. Our kids go to school with yours. We stand in the same bleachers cheering for the same high school teams. When you hire a union electrician, you're not just getting the highest quality work. You're supporting our community. IBEW Local 697, proudly powering our own.
If you are injured in a worksite accident or hurt by a defective product, go with the guy that has a proven track record litigating these cases. Otto Schregel, a principal partner at the Allen Law Group, will make sure those responsible for hurting you are held to account for their negligence. With multiple offices in Indiana and Illinois, you can reach them at 219-465-6292 or reach them out on the web at www.kenallenlaw.com.
At the conclusion of tonight's game, we'll name the Boilermakers Local 374 Blue Collar Player of the Game, brought to you by Boilermakers Local 374. Earn while you learn with Boilermakers Local 374. Paxton Lukács leads off for Andrean as we get ready to begin the top of the third inning here in this Class 3A Regional at the U.S. Steel Yard in Gary. Good to be back here again this season. As it seems like just yesterday we had Wheeler and Hebron facing off. It was a very early season matchup, but the high school baseball season has flown by. The count 0-1 to Lukács, but now in the regional championships, Bender in for a strike from Vandermyden. Count 0-2, but it's been a good season across the region with many teams still playing. We saw Valparaiso and Crown Point with a good game earlier. The 0-2, poke towards shortstop. It skips towards Zakovica, and he can't come up with it. It rolls away. It will put Lukács on base. So the leadoff runner is on base for the 59ers. That was a bouncer over to short base. Zakovica tries to get the body in front of it, and it just jumps up on him, and then it rolls out. He was trying to hold the ball like a basket, and it just falls out, and it goes towards second base, so that will put Lukács on base, and the batter now, Chase Nelson. Nelson walked to start the second inning, but was thrown out at first. And this one goes past the catcher. Lukács quickly speeds over to second base. So that was low. It was in the dirt. It goes through the wickets of Dapshus, and easily able to scamper over to second base was Lukács. Nelson now with the count of ball and no strikes. He steps out, rounding out that thought with playoffs still moving along. It's good to see the region still well represented in baseball and softball. The 1-0 pitch. Nelson shows bunt, but that one is under his bat. Evens up the count at a ball and a strike. One team will be advancing, moving along to semi-state here, but many good teams in the area. It's delivered for some good playoff moments over the last week and a half. Nelson showing bunt again. Vandermyden looks to second, now to the plate. The bunt jab towards the mound. Vandermyden scoops it up. He has only got the play at first base. He throws there in time to retire Nelson, but advancing to third base was Lukács. The bunt goes to the left of the batter, so a sacrifice play by Nelson. Back to the top of the order. Blake Cowder will bat with a runner at third base and one away. Cowder walked and scored in the second inning. He struck out swinging to start the game in the first. So he prepares for this pitch, facing Vandermyden for the third time tonight. The first pitch. Outside for ball one. The runner, Lukács, holds up. '59ers put up crooked numbers in each of their prior two plate appearances, 3 in the first, 2 in the second. Are now threatening with a runner just 90 feet away. The next pitch to Cowder, high and away. Count moves to 2-0, so Vandermyden remains in the game. Although there's been activity down in that right field bullpen that seems to have quieted. Count 2-0 to Cowder. With one away, a runner at third base. The windup and the pitch. Cowder drills it towards left field. It drops and rolls to Slavin. That will score Lukács, and the 59ers make it a 6-0 lead on that RBI single from Cowder.
It's the shortstop, number 3, Mason Barth.
Mason Barth bats with Cowder at first base. Cowder's on base for the second time in this ball game. And Brady Ellish will take the place of the catcher, Cowder. Barth has reached base both times he's been up tonight. He has scored both times. He singled in the first and scored, and then he walked and scored in the second inning. First pitch, Ellish is going for second. The throw, the slide, he is safe. Stolen base for Ellish. He moves into scoring position. He's at second. It was a good throw down by Dapshus. Zakovica tries to apply the tag, but Ellis just got there a step ahead of the throw. So Ellis, who would be considered a dual-threat quarterback, shows off the speed there. So part of the 59er football team. The 0-1 pitch into the top of the zone. Or just missing the top of the zone. Evens the count at 1-1. So Barth works with Ellish at second. The pitch to the plate. The 1-1 hits him in the back. It's another hit batter. Actually, that's only the first hit batter for the 59ers. There was one hit by that's the second batter. Dutton was hit by a pitch earlier, and then Klapkowski of Highland was hit. And this might be the end of the line for Vandermyden, with Barth the runner at first base, Cowder the runner at second. There's going to be a new pitcher out of the bullpen, as it looks like that gate in the Highland bullpen is open, so a long walk to the mound by Zach Pizer. Wait until we're officially sure. So they're looking down to the bullpen, but Vandermyden hasn't handed over the baseball yet. There's one out in the inning. Runners at first and second. A run has scored already. And this is a lengthy chat. I think we just saw the signal down. We're going to get a new man into the game. So when we return, we'll tell you about the new right-hander. We're in the top of the third inning. Andrean leads Highland 6-0. You're watching coverage of the 2025 Class 3A Baseball Regional Championship on the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
Can't wait for summer, but dreading the heat because your old AC let you down? Don't sweat it out this summer. Call Economy Electric Heating and Cooling. The professionals there can fix you up. Install a central air unit that'll last for years. Your family deserves to stay comfortable. And with a 24/7 emergency service, comfort is just a phone call away. Give them a call at 219-923-4441 or check them out on the web at 4ajobdoneright.com.
Earn while you learn from the best hands in the business. The Bricklayers Allied Craftworkers for Indiana, Kentucky Apprenticeship. That's right, this is a paid apprenticeship.
I'm getting an education while learning a trade and getting paid for it.
The thing that surprised me the most about this apprenticeship program is the respect I have received after the proper time and training.
Classes start soon, so apply now. There are training centers throughout Indiana and Kentucky. We are the Bricklayers and Allied Craftworkers for Indiana, Kentucky Apprenticeship. The best hands in the business.
So Joe Steffen takes over for Highland here in the top of the third inning, just keeping track of Vandermyden. You can't shut the book on him yet. He goes 2 1/3 with 5 hits against. He is still responsible for the runners on base, and he had 4 walks. He hit 2 batters, and he struck out 3. But there's a new pitcher in the game, Joe Steffen. That is brought to you by our friends at Enigenberg Exteriors. He's an Enigenberg Exteriors home improvement hurler. For Steffen, he is 2-2 on the year with a 5.65 ERA. Steffen has logged 34 2/3 innings of work with 53 hits against, 34 runs, 28 of them earned. He has walked 18 and struck out 24. So there's some defensive movement. It looks like Vandermyden is playing first base. The outfield was realigned. I think Phillips takes over in right field in place of DeMantis, who exited the game. I think Slavin and Quigg remain at their previous stations in left and center. So Steffen, the pitcher for Highland, he will face Maxwell. Maxwell's 1 for 2 with an RBI single in the first and a strikeout in the second. The first pitch low for a ball. So moving some things around for Highland. That was the end of the day for Vandermyden. He's responsible, though, for Barth, the runner at first base, and Cowder, the runner at second. 6 runs in for the 59ers in this game. The 1-0 is outside. I think you could argue, I believe only 4 of those would be earned, technically, but most of the damage has been done through the walks and the hit by pitches, and then a couple defensive misplays by the Trojans. The 2-0 pitch. Breaking ball high. We go 3-0 in the count. So Steffen looking to locate the zone. This can be a tricky spot when you're brought into the game with runners on base, offense already having occurred in the inning, and you're just trying to stifle what's been a red-hot offense. The 3-0 pitch. Fastball called strike 1. To Caden Maxwell, the junior first baseman. Maxwell bats left-handed against the southpaw and Steffen. The 3-1 pitch. That's low and away for ball 4. Steffen walks the bases full. Maxwell's on for the second time in this game. The batter now, Charlie Solers. Solers with his RBI single in the second inning. He flew out to right in the first. He bats with Cowder at third base, Barth at second, and Maxwell at first. Paxton Lukacs reached on an error to start the inning. He was moved over by a bunt and then brought home by a single from Cowder. The first pitch to Solers called strike one. And then Barth was hit by a pitch. Maxwell walked. That has allowed the 59ers to load the bases here. They lead 6-0. 6 runs on 5 hits. The 1-1 pitch skipped to the mound. Stephen handles it, throws to the plate. They will retire Elish, who was running in place of Cowder. So well done by the pitcher to get the fielder's choice. But runners advance. Maxwell to second, Barth to third, and Solers does reach on that fielder's choice. But that's the important second out of the inning. Stephen Mack now bats against Stephan with the bases loaded and 2 away. First pitch to Mack, called strike one. Mack is 1 for 1 on the day. He with a single and a walk. He scored in the first inning. Mastalski throwing and staying loose down the right field line. And Mack puts this one in the air to left field. Slavin rolls over to his right. He looks up and makes the catch for out number 3. The 59ers add a run. We are through 2.5. Andrean leads over Highland 6-0. You're watching coverage of the 2025 Class 3A Baseball Regional Championship on the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
Have you been to Bada Boom Fireworks in Lowland, Demont yet? They have it all, big and small, from sparklers, spinners, and bottle rockets to artillery shells and aerial repeaters. Visit Bada Boom in Lowland, Demont and choose from hundreds of items, including cakes, fountains, Big Daddy canister shells, and so much more. Put your love for America on full display this 4th of July. Celebrate our nation's independence and style with an assortment of fun and spectacular fireworks from Bada Boom Fireworks in Lowell and Demont.
The Athletic Performance Factory is Northwest Indiana's premier athletic training center. The 40,000 square foot state-of-the-art facility features batting cages, a sand training room, a new outdoor turf infield, and so much more. Check out the facility for one of their daily classes at 3150 45th Street in Highland. Interested in signing up for team workouts or individual lessons? Check out their website at trainapf.com or contact them at 219-750-1087. Athletic Performance Factory, where athletes are made.
Blythe's Team Sports in Valparaiso is a leader in athletics apparel and equipment sales. With in-house production including screen printing, trophies, embroidery, and more, Blythe's can help you to create the perfect look. For more information, visit them online at teamblythes.com. Blythe's Team Sports in Valparaiso, where the athletes shop.
Stay with us after the game, and we'll name the Ironworkers 395 Play of the Game, presented by Ironworkers Local 395. To find out how you can become a union ironworker, visit ironworkers395.com. Justin Slavin leads off for Highland. He's the number 9 batter in the lineup. He'll be followed by Quigg and Phillips. So the Trojans of Highland completing their first trip through the batting order against Ivan Mastalski, who has been excellent so far. The righty fires his first pitch, a fastball in for strike one. Against Slavin, who's batting .270 on the season. He has 17 hits. He's driven in 12 runs. Working against a tough right-hander. Count evens up at a ball and a strike. Mastalski winds and fires. The 1-1, it breaks inside. Dancing out of the way is Slavin to avoid being hit by that one. Count goes to 2-1, but Mastalski, one of several local players that will be playing at Indiana next season. The 2-1 pitch, swing and a miss for strike two. You have Cotton and Johnston from Crown Point. Valparaiso has Gill that will be in there, but he's a junior, so he'll be the year after. The 2-2 pitch, but the region well represented among the upcoming recruiting classes from Indiana. And it's big for the Hoosier program, recruiting well in-state. The 2-2 pitch, outside, will go full at 3-2. Just so many power four-bound players in the area. The payoff pitch, high for ball 4. Slavin walks, so the top of the order will be up for Highland with nobody out and a runner at first base.
Now the Highland order to go to the center fielder, number 3, Caden Quigg.
Caden Quigg bats. He walked in the first inning and advanced to second, but was left stranded there. First base runner since the first inning. Third overall for Highland here in the bottom of the third. First pitch to Quigg. He checks up on it, but it was outside. It's a ball. They appeal over to first base. The first base umpire says he did not go. Quigg walked in the first. Klapkowski was hit by a pitch. Now Slavin walks, and then Quigg flares that one towards second base. Stepping up and making the catch is Dudden for out number 1. So a soft fly out to second for Quigg. He's now 0 for 1 officially today with a walk. And now Nate Phillips bats with Slavin at first base and 1 down. Phillips batting right-handed. As the train goes by, makes plenty of noise. And just behind us in the outfield, part of the iconic backdrop here at the Steelyard. Count 0-1 to Phillips. He struck out looking. The freshman started the day at first base. Now he plays right field. Next pitch, called strike 2. Phillips does not offer. Let's look down at the scoreboard update. Penn leads Crown Point. This is in softball, 1-0 at the end of the first. The leadoff batter for Penn was able to make a inside the park home run. That's in the semi-state championship. So the Bulldogs in action in that one. Down 1-0 early. The 1-2 pitch by Mastalski. He swings over it for strike 3. So Phillips struck out for the second time tonight. He's 0 for 2. The batter now, Kirk Dapshis. The Trojan catcher, he works with 2 away and a runner at first base. Crown Point with a big win over Chesterton in the regional championship a couple of days ago. That was a good game. Ashlyn Keita with that 3-run home run in the 4th inning really put the exclamation point on that victory for the Bulldogs. It's been a very good season for their team. Mastalski with his first pitch to Dapshis is fouled away. He struck out looking back in the first inning. We are in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Highland trails Andrean 6-0. 6 runs on 5 hits for the 59ers. No runs and no hits for Highland. Kirk Dapshis batting with a runner at first base. Justin Slavin. Slavin walked to start the inning, then Quigg with a soft fly out to second base, and then Phillips struck out swinging to follow. That is how we've gotten here so far. Dapshis down 0-1. He was batting .301 entering this game, trying to stay above 300. So no balls and a strike to the left-handed hitting catcher. The next pitch. Fouled just a little bit early on the swing. This carries high to the concourse down at the left field line. So it's now 0-2. So Mastalski waits for the all clear from the umpire. Looks at the runner at first base. That's Slavin. The 0-2 pitch towards the plate. It's the fastball in the inner third. It's good for strike 3. Back-to-back strikeouts for Mastalski. End the inning. We are through 3. Andrean leads over Highland 6-0. You're watching coverage of the 2025 Class 3A Baseball Regional Championship on the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
Thinking about what to do after high school? Consider a career with Boilermakers Local 374. As a Boilermaker apprentice, you'll earn while you learn. We offer excellent wages and benefits, and as part of our no-cost hands-on apprenticeship program, you'll learn from the best in state-of-the-art training centers and on the job. Become a union Boilermaker and get on your way to a great career. Find out more, visit www.local374.org or call 219-845-1000.
Some see a wrestling match. We see a 6-minute lesson in grit. Some see a coach sending a runner home. We see a mentor guiding a student athlete into the future. Proud to keep education in front of athletics since 1903.
Welcome back to the 2025 Class 3A Baseball Regional Championship right here on the Region Sports Network. Leo Staudaher with you on the call. Zach Miller and Adam Kartschaff round out my crew. Great job by them as always, as we've been working a doubleheader. Chris Ramirez and Jimmy McCormick had all the coverage of the Valparaiso Crown Point matchup earlier this afternoon, where the Vikings took down the Bulldogs 5-0. We're completing the doubleheader. We have a crew over taking care of that Crown Point semi-state game. It's been a busy day here for us at the RSN, but everybody has handled it brilliantly as we're about to start the fourth inning in this matchup between Andrean and Highland. Luke Gobin leads off, followed by Jet Dutton and Paxton Lukács. Gobin reached on an error and walked. Has reached base both times today, but without a hit officially. Drove in a run with that walk in the second inning. So Andrean with more runs than hits in this game, 6 on 5. They've just been able to capitalize on any little mistakes made by Highland, whether that be defensively or with wildness. Steven gets Gobin to swing through that 1-0 delivery. It dropped out from under him, so the count evened up at a ball and a strike to the leadoff man, Gobin. Gobin, the junior right fielder, fouls away the next pitch. Count moves to a ball and 2 strikes. But Andrean, state champs in 2022, have some players back from that squad. Regional champs in 23. Number 1 in the Prep Baseball Report 3A rankings. The count 2 balls and 2 strikes to Gobin. The 2-2 pitch fouled away. So the count will remain 2-2. Last season, they had an early loss to Hanover Central. They avenged that one with a big win, 5-2, in the sectional championship this year. Now the 2-2 pitch to Gobin. He can't catch up to that off-speed delivery. He is rung up on strikes. That's the first strikeout for Stefan. And that'll bring Jet Dutton to the plate. Dutton playing second base, but a 27-3 record for Andrean this season. It's been a great year for the 59ers. They're looking to keep things rolling. They are only on a 2-game win streak as their last loss occurred late in the regular season, but have won their first 2 postseason games. Only 3 losses on the year for the 59ers. 2 of those 3 losses to out-of-state opponents. Their lone loss to an Indiana team was to Ileana Christian. 1-0 pitch, high and away. Their last loss was to St. Lawrence from Burbank, Illinois. That was a 9-4 loss on May 26th. Their other loss was to Brother Rice out of Chicago on the 24th of April, a 5-3 loss in that one. So the 2-0 pitch. Called strike one, makes it a 2-1 count. So 2 of your 3 losses to 2 of the top teams in Illinois. And another tough team from Indiana Christian. And that the Indiana Christian loss was a 5-4 loss. So 2 of those 3 losses have been by 2 runs or less. The 2-1 pitch, skip towards shortstop. Zekovica gathers it, throws to first, beats him by a step for out number 2. So that play by Zekovica right there. Those are some of the best hands in the business. Just like the Bricklayers Local 4 of Indiana, Kentucky. Join Bricklayers Local 4 and start building your career today. Visit baclocal4.org to find out more. Paxton Lukács bats now for Andrean with 2 away and nobody on in the top of the 4th inning. Lukács struck out looking in the first and reached on an error and scored in the 3rd inning. Takes a first pitch ball from Stefan. Looks like there's a lefty getting loose in the bullpen for Andrean and a righty warming up for Highland. As Lukács fouls away the 1-0 pitch, count goes to 1-1. That goes towards the street. So the count even at a ball and a strike with 2 down. So the left-handed pitcher, Stefan, gets ready for the 1-1 delivery. He kicks and fires. It's low and away. We'll go 2-1. Andrean, 314 runs, or make it actually now 320 runs on the season for, and only 85 runs against. It's been a very dominant year for the 59ers. The 2-1 pitch inside moves the count to 3-1 to Lukács, the sophomore center fielder. So the winner of this game gets Delta in the semi-state semifinals. The game will be played a week from today. The 3-1 pitch. In for ball 4, so Lukács is on base for the 2nd time. That walk will extend the inning and bring Chase Nelson to the plate with a runner at first base and 2 away. Nelson, the left-hand batter, walked in the 2nd inning, was thrown out, caught away from the bag by Vandermeiden, and then he laid down a sacrifice bunt in his next at-bat. And Stefan throws over, but sliding back safely was Lukács. Nelson, the sophomore 3rd baseman, looking to try to extend the inning for his team. And another checkup by Stefan. Lukács beats it with plenty of time to spare. So back-to-back looks over to first base. And there's a Andrean player out in right field. He's running back from the bullpen. And another checkup to first base so that pitcher leaving the pen will see just who that is. Not sure if it's a pitcher we'll see anytime soon. The pitcher and catcher both hustled back to the dugout. Now the first pitch to Nelson. Nelson fouls it back over the screen, and it bounces off a beam above the suite. It's part of that overhang of the balcony, but it just made a large or a loud sound. Big thud as it then ricochets back towards the crowd. So the count 0-1 to Nelson. Lukács on base for the 2nd time. He scored earlier in the game. The throw over it, and Stefan really focusing on trying to contain Lukács. I believe the pitcher warming up was Braden Brannigan, the left-handed pitcher. Brannigan committed to Lindenwood University. The 0-1 pitch. That's outside. The throw down to second base. Lukács slides in safely, avoids the tag. So it's a stolen base for Lukács. He moves into scoring position with 2 away. The count at 1-1 to Nelson. Andrean, without a run here in the fourth inning, they had 3 in the first, 2 in the second, and 1 in the third. 3-2-1, counting down on the scoreboard. So a 0 here could complete that countdown, which then if they could score 1 in the fifth, 2 in the sixth, and 3 in the seventh, that would be a palindrome. The 1-1 outside, we go 2-1. No runs yet for Highland. They are really being contained by Ivan Mastalski. And Stefan trying to get out of this inning. The 2-1 pitch. High for ball 3 to the batter, Nelson. And the top of the order is on deck. You want to avoid having to face them. Here in this frame, you'd rather take your chances with a clean inning without having potentially multiple base runners on. The 3-1 pitch. It's outside for ball 4, and it gets away from the catcher, so that will allow Lukács to move over to third base. And so Nelson on for the second time tonight with that walk. And the batter now, Blake Cowder. And we might see a move to the pen from Highland. We're seeing their head coach make his way out to the mound with a baseball in his hand. They've had a righty throwing in the bullpen, but we'll wait just to be sure. And they will make a call to the pen, so we will let the new pitcher warm up. Stick around, you're watching coverage of the 2025 Class 3A Baseball Regional Championship on the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
At Strachan Van Til, we believe grocery shopping should be simple. Now, shopping is easier than ever with our new and improved website. Find what you need fast. Browse your favorite products, add them to your cart, and check out in just a few quick steps. Choose between convenient in-store pickup or let us handle the heavy lifting. From our shelves to your doorstep, skip the lines, shop your way, and spend more time on what matters most. With our rewards program, enjoy incredible savings and personalized offers every time you shop. Shop online now at strachanvantil.com or download our app today.
Thinking about what to do after high school? Consider a career with Boilermakers Local 374. As a Boilermaker apprentice, you'll earn while you learn. We offer excellent wages and benefits, and as part of our no-cost hands-on apprenticeship program, you'll learn from the best in state-of-the-art training centers and on the job. Become a union Boilermaker and get on your way to a great career. Find out more, visit www.local374.org or call 219-845-1000.
Austin Gold is the new man out of the pen for Highland. He's an Edinburgh Exteriors home improvement hurler. So the stats for Austin, he is 1-0 on the year in 17 appearances with a 4.38 ERA. Gold with 32 innings pitched, 27 hits, 27 runs, 20 of those earned. He has walked 24 and struck out 26. So at Edinburgh Exteriors, your all-in-one roofing specialist. Visit ebergexteriors.com for a quote. And another scoreboard update from the softball semi-state Class 4A championship. Crown Point leads Penn 3-1 in the bottom of the first after a pass ball wild pitch with bases loaded and a 2 RBI single from Lulu Johnston. So Gold getting warmed up for Highland. He will be looking to try to put up what could be a scoreless inning for the Trojans, but Andrean threatening with runners at first and third. Nelson, the runner at first. Lukács, the runner at second. Gobin started the inning off with a strikeout, then Dutton grounded out to short, and then the back-to-back walks to Lukács and Nelson have allowed the Andrean 59ers to threaten here with runners at first and third. So here's Cowder. Takes a first pitch strike. He walked and scored in the second. Had an RBI single in the third. He's down 0-1 in this count. And then Nelson's just going to step on over to second base, but then this one lined out to short. That will do it here to end the top half of the fourth inning. The line out from Cowder. The 59ers threaten but do not score We're through 3.5. Andrean leads 6-0. You're watching coverage of the 2025 Class 3A Baseball Regional Championship on the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
With 40 years of experience serving Indiana, Illinois, and Tennessee, Enigenberg Exteriors has only had one goal in mind: to achieve excellent customer service. From commercial and residential roofing to siding, window, and door replacement, Enigenberg Exteriors delivers 110% customer satisfaction from the first hello to the final walkthrough. Visit enigenberg.com for more information or give them a call at 219-365-2837. Enigenberg Exteriors, restoring hope one project at a time.
Four Seasons Mechanical proudly serves Northwest Indiana, providing quality, reasonably priced, reliable service. With a quality and comfort guarantee, the professionals at Four Seasons Mechanical offer a wide range of services in heating, ventilation, and air conditioning. Whether it's residential or commercial, Four Seasons Mechanical is there 24/7. To find out more, the website is fourseasonsmechanical.com or give them a call at 219-756-7020. Four Seasons Mechanical, your indoor air quality specialist.
Welcome back to the 2025 Class 3A Baseball Regional Championship right here on the Region Sports Network. There's a new left-hander in for Andrean. That means he's an Enigenberg Exteriors home improvement hurler. The new lefty will be the Lindenwood commit, Braden Brannigan, the senior southpaw. So Enigenberg Exteriors, a premier provider of roofing and siding services with over 40 years of experience. Check them out on the web at ebergexteriors.com. So that completes the day for Ivan Mastalski. He went 3 innings of no-hit ball with no runs against, 2 walks, and 7 strikeouts. So the 59ers, with a 6-run lead, decide that was enough for him, and we'll bring in the lefty, Brannigan. Brannigan will be facing Klapkowski, Washik, and Boyd. Another update from that Crown Point Penn game. Evie Cuevas had an RBI single to make it 4-0 for Crown Point. So the Bulldogs take the lead. The count now 1-1 to Klapkowski, who was hit by a pitch, one of 3 base runners that the Trojans were able to get against Mastalski. And the 1-1 is fouled away to the right side of the diamond. It goes off of the upper deck and back towards the seats. But 2 walks and a hit by pitch were all that Highland was able to get against Ivan Mastalski, who had a very good 3 innings. The 1-2 pitch, called strike 3. He's able to retire Klapkowski looking, so the first batter faced for Brannigan strikes out looking. So Cash Washik will bat for Highland. He struck out looking to end the first inning, so this will be his second at-bat of the game. Lefty-on-lefty matchup. Brannigan spins in a first pitch strike. So 0-1 the count as the lefty winds and fires. Jabbed away back to the screen, makes it an 0-2 count. Temperature's starting to dip a bit here, but overall still a very good night for baseball at the Steel Yard. The 0-2 pitch. That's high, makes it a 1-2 count. A good crowd on hand as well. Lots of fans wearing the colors of both teams, and we saw a spirited crowd earlier. The 1-2. That'll be called strike 3. Back-to-back punch-outs for Brannigan to start off the 4th inning. Batter now, Bradley Boyd. But that is one of the cool things about having a neutral site like this for sectionals and regionals when you have back-to-back games. And you see some fans, we still see some fans wearing the green of Valparaiso and the red of Crown Point, hanging out, watching these games. Forget baseball is a tight-knit community. A lot of these players might have played together on the travel ball circuit and known each other for many years, and cool to see everybody supporting each other. The 1-0. High for a ball, we go 2-0. That's one of the unique things about playoffs is those back-to-back games at one site. 2-0 pitch, called strike one. It adds to the atmosphere, too. Obviously, this is a 3A and a 4A game, but the 2-1 pitch. Swing and a miss for strike two, but it was unique, cool in the sectional round in those semifinal games where you saw Valparaiso and Hobart watching the next game because they knew whoever won that one, and that's who we're going to see next. And same thing with Chesterton and Portage watching the early game, trying to scout if they get through. The 2-2 pitch, inside for ball three. We'll go full, 3 balls and 2 strikes with 2 away. To the batter, Brady Boyd, who is 0 for 1 with a fly out to right field. The 3-2 pitch, poke towards right field. A sliding play, but it bounces into the glove of Gobin. So that will be the first hit of the day for the Trojans. Boyd gets a 2-out single, and he's the 4th base runner overall for Highland. And looking at that, too, with that single by Boyd, that is just the 3rd ball put in play by Highland, and we are in the bottom of the 4th inning. 7 strikeouts. This one skipped towards shortstop. Sliding is Barth. He throws over to first base, and it's good. He gets him. What a play by Barth for out number 3, going across the diamond to retire Vandermyden. We are through 4 innings, and Andrean leads over Highland 6-0. You're watching coverage of the 2025 Class 3A Baseball Regional Championship on the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
Calling all current and future homeowners in the Northwest Indiana area. Whether you're buying or selling, Brent Wright is here to make your real estate journey smooth and successful. With years of experience, personalized service, and a deep knowledge of the market, Brent will help you find the perfect place or get the best deal for your property. Call today at 219-406-7195 and take the first step toward your real estate goals. Contact Brent Wright, the right way to buy and sell real estate.
With offices in Munster and Cedar Lake, Ethos Dental Group offers a full scope of general and cosmetic dentistry with expertise ranging from porcelain veneers to dental implants, crowns, and bridges. At Ethos Dental Group, you're assured that Dr. Mark Stojkovic and his associates, Dr. Emily Hansen and Dr. Brian Douts, utilize the latest in technology. Check out ethosdentalgroup.com or call 219-595-3432 to schedule an appointment. Ethos Dental Group, dental care you can believe in.
By Barth to end the 4th inning are some of the best hands in the business, just like the Bricklayers Local 4 of Indiana, Kentucky. Check out baclocal4.org to find out how you can join the oldest continuous union in North America. More softball updates. Hanover Central will be going to state with a 2-1 win over Western. In 9 innings, they threw out the tying runner at home for the final out. First pitch from Gold to Barth. Swing and a miss for strike 3. And going back to that play by Barth, let's talk about that one from the shortstop. The Notre Dame commit, as he's fixing his bat, the grip. There's a problem with it, but he had to slide to his right and kind of roll while gathering that ball and throw a high lofting throw like a rainbow that just landed right in the glove of Maxwell. That was a good swing by Vandermyden, but an even better defensive play by Barth. And the Fighting Irish will be excited to have him join the squad next season, turning in defensive plays like that. The count 1-1 to Barth, who has reached base 3 times tonight. He singled and scored in the first, walked and scored in the second. He was hit by a pitch and advanced to third base in the 3rd inning. So now in his 4th at-bat to lead off the top of the 5th. The 2-1 pitch. Outside makes it a 3-1 count. Austin Gold still pitching for Highland. He was able to get the final out of the top half of the 4th. His 3-1 pitch, though, is high, and it goes all the way to the backstop, so Barth is on with his 2nd walk of the night. He's reached base for the 4th time in this game. And the batter now, Caden Maxwell. Maxwell works with a runner at first base, and nobody out. Talking about Highland, what a good season Andrean, what a good season they've had. 27-3 on the year. They have crossed over to Illinois several times this season. Mentioned 2 of those losses to St. Lawrence and Brother Rice, but they have 2 quality wins over Illinois teams as well, with a 9-3 win over Lincoln Way East, one of the top teams in the state of Illinois, and a 12-2 win over Nazareth Academy. The Roadrunners of Nazareth, another loaded private school team from Illinois, with the count 0-1. So this one put in the air to the right side of the infield. Boyd, the second baseman, and Vandermeiden, the first baseman, both communicate, and the first baseman, Vandermeiden, makes the catch for out number 3. But that going back to that win over Nazareth for Andrean, that was a big win as they run-ruled the Roadrunners 12-2. Nazareth has the top player in the state of Illinois, top position player in Landon Tomey, the son of former MLB player, former White Sox and Cleveland Indians, Minnesota Twins player, Phillies, Jim Tomey, who's also on the coaching staff at Nazareth. So this one skipped over to third base by Solers. The throw to first. In time, they beat him by a step for out number 2. So a couple of balls put in play, but some good defense by Highland. Just rounding out that thought, that was a big win for Andrean against Nazareth to run rule a team loaded with Division I commits in Nazareth, and they've had a couple more big wins on the season and trying to continue that here against Highland in the regional championship. Stephen Mack, the batter, with 2 down and a runner at second base. Mack jams it towards second, where Boyd collects it, throws to first, and will retire Mack. So the 59ers get the leadoff runner on base, but he will be left stranded after a pair of groundouts and a flyout. We are through 4.5. The score remains 6-0. You're watching coverage of the 2025 Class 3A Baseball Regional Championship on the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
Summer just got sweeter at Smoothie King of St. John. Introducing 5 new watermelon smoothies. Power Meal Slim Watermelon, Gut Health Watermelon, Hydration Watermelon, the Activation Recovery Watermelon, and the Extreme Watermelon. All here for a limited time only at Smoothie King of St. John. Open 7 days a week. Smoothie King is conveniently located across from Lake Central High School. Stop in today. Smoothie King of St. John.
Flip the switch, a light turns on. Press the button, machines and instruments come to life. Touch the screen, communicate with the world. Simple tasks, guaranteed results, every second of every day. That's the power of power. And that's the power brought to you by the NECA contractors and electrical workers of Local 531.
Welcome back to the 2025 Class 3A Baseball Regional Championship right here on the Region Sports Network. As we get ready to start the bottom of the 5th inning, Brannigan stays in the game for Andrean. The batters Zekovica, Slavin, and Quigg. So 8, 9, and 1 in the lineup for Highland as they're looking. They were able to put their first hit on the board last inning as Brady Boyd, the freshman second baseman, was just able to poke one to right field. And Zekovica bats with Brannigan on the hill. Zekovica struck out against Mastalski to end the 2nd inning. So he gets ready to face the lefty, Brannigan. The pitch to the right-handed batter. He clubs it high in the air to left field, but Solers moves in and makes the catch for the opening out here in the 5th. So 1 away, the batter now, Justin Slavin, who walked. He's one of 4 base runners that Highland has had in this game. Slavin batting .270 on the year, the sophomore left fielder. So he's one of many underclassmen in the starting 9 for Highland in this game. The first pitch from Brannigan. He chops this one over third base. It stays fair. The throw by Nelson. It's a dart across the diamond. It gets him for out number 2. And so Nelson had to judge that one, whether it was going to stay fair or not. He made the decision to charge in and just get it, scoops it up with the glove on his left hand, picks it up out of the glove with the right hand, still on the run, throws just a clothesline across the diamond to his teammate Maxwell for the second out. So here's Caden Quigg, the center fielder of Highland. He swings through that first pitch for strike one from Brannigan. Quigg walked in the first inning and then flew out to second. His next at bat in the third. Count evens up at a ball and a strike with 2 down. Nobody on base for the Trojans. And for Highland, you don't want to start counting outs, but 7 remaining opportunities to try to get back in this game. The count goes 2-1. You don't want to leave it all up for the 7th. The 2-1 pitch. Fastball misses outside. We go 3-1. The Trojans trying to stay alive. The 3-1 pitch is low and inside, so it's another walk for Quigg, his second of the ball game. And it brings Nate Phillips up to bat for Highland, 17-13 on the year. But they've won their last 6. Their last loss was a 13-3 defeat against Valparaiso in non-conference play, but then they've been able to go on a bit of a roll here. 6-5 win on May 22nd against Bishop Knoll, and Highland just had to take a pitcher from the bullpen. They had someone warming up. Is he going to be the batter? Is that Phillips? Trying to make sense of what's going on. Yeah, Nate Phillips was warming up in the bullpen. Then he had to run all the way into the dugout to now get his bat, his gloves, and a helmet. So a lengthy delay. We saw Brannigan throw his arms up, rather bothered by that, towards the Highland dugouts, as thinking maybe if they knew he was on deck, maybe get him up, but there were 2 away, so whatever. Here we go, though. 2 of the 6 wins for Highland against Bishop Knoll. They bookended the winning streak so far. A 12-1 win over Gary Westside to start the postseason, a 15-0 win over East Chicago, and a 13-0 win over Bishop Knoll. So in the playoffs, the Trojans have really been on a roll with a 12-run win, a 15-0 win, and then a 13-0 win. They have been outscoring opponents 40-1 going into this game. The throw over to first base, getting back safely is Quigg. But now they have allowed 6 runs in this game and have not been able to score. So trying to get back on track here. The first pitch to Phillips is low for a ball. Or actually, that was called strike 1, pardon me. No balls and a strike to Phillips, who was 0 for 2 with a pair of punch-outs. Brannigan throws over to first base, but getting back in time was Quigg. Quigg, his 29 stolen bases this season, a single-season record for Highland. Now the 0-1 pitch from Brannigan. It's grounded towards second base. Dudden picks it up, throws over to first base, and that will retire Phillips for out number 3. So the Trojans get a runner on, but do not advance him. We are through 5, and the score remains 6-0 in favor of Andrean. You're watching coverage of the 2025 Class 3A Baseball Regional Championship on the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
IBEW Local 697 isn't just wiring buildings. We're woven into the very fabric of Northwest Indiana. We're your neighbors. Our kids go to school with yours. We stand in the same bleachers cheering for the same high school teams. When you hire a union electrician, you're not just getting the highest quality work. You're supporting our community. IBEW Local 697, proudly powering our own.
If you are injured in a worksite accident or hurt by a defective product, go with the guy that has a proven track record litigating these cases. Otto Schregel, a principal partner at the Allen Law Group, will make sure those responsible for hurting you are held to account for their negligence. With multiple offices in Indiana and Illinois, you can reach them at 219-465-6292 or reach them out on the web at www.kenallenlaw.com.
You're welcome back to the 2025 Class 3A Baseball Regional Championship right here on the Region Sports Network. Monitoring those softball scores, Crown Point leads Penn 4-1 at the end of the second in the softball semi-state Class 4A Championship. Luke Gobin leads off here in the top of the sixth inning in this Class 3A Baseball Regional Championship. Dudden and Lukács to follow. 6 runs on 5 hits for the 59ers and no runs on 1 hit for the Trojans. Gobin reached on an error in the first inning, walked in a run in the second. He pokes this one over towards the mound, and Gold lets it roll over to Phillips. That'll be an infield single for Gobin. So Gold, the pitcher, charging at that one and then gave up as the third baseman. Phillips, maybe he thought he had a better angle on it, but Phillips at that point didn't have a play to make. It's an infield single for Gobin. He's on for the third time tonight. And also worth mentioning, Phillips helped me segue into this one easily. Phillips moves from right field to third base. Klapkowski moves from third base to right field. So Klapkowski now the third different right fielder for the Trojans. First pitch to Dudden outside for a ball. DeMantis started the day in right field, but then he was replaced by the pitcher technically in Stefanez. Then Phillips took over in right field, and now Klapkowski and Phillips switch spots from right to third. Phillips started the day at first base as well, but then when Vandermeiden left the game on the mound, he took over at first base. So Phillips goes from first base to right field to third base, in case you're keeping score at home. The 2-0 count now to Dudden, who was hit by a pitch in the first inning and then a fly out in the second and a ground out after that in the fourth. The 2-0 pitch, and then well off the bag is Gobin, but no throw over by the Trojans backstop Dapshis. 3 balls, no strikes to Dudden, who could potentially walk here to put 2 on for the 59ers. 3-0. Called strike 1. Fastball in the inner third of the plate. Makes it a 3-1 count. So Dudden, senior, playing second base for Andrean, takes that one high and away. So he's on base for the second time with the walk. The walks have really hurt Highland in this ball game. And now we'll see Brady Elish batting in place of Paxton Lukács. So Elish bats here in the top of the 6th. Make sure we got that right. Yep, Elish, so starting quarterback for the 59er football team, also playing here on the diamond. Gets ready to take an at-bat in the 6th. He bats left-handed. Andrean, another update from softball. Andrean is up 2-0 in the 2A championship game against Rossville in the bottom of the 3rd. Elish is showing bunt. The first baseman, Vandermeiden, moves all the way, just a few steps away from Elish, but his bunt goes well foul. So the count moves to 0-1. There's a runner at first and second. Dudden, the runner at first, and Gobin, the runner at second. The 0-1, showing bunt again. He pulls back. The fastball was low. It evens up the count at a ball and a strike. But Vandermeiden charging all the way in, anticipating this bunt from Elish. The 1-1. Elish again attempts the bunt, but it was high. And it will be called ball 2. So Elish, we've seen Noah Ehrlich, starting quarterback for Crown Point, also playing baseball. Kellen Hosak, starting quarterback for Valparaiso. He's a bullpen pitcher for the Vikings baseball team. So one of several multi-sport quarterbacks here in the region. As the count now 3-1 to Elish. We'll see him put that bunt attempt in the back pocket, but you always like to see the multi-sport athletes, especially at one of the premier positions like that on the football team. That should be someone that could play football, basketball, baseball, play or track and field, play any sport in the school and do well at it. The 3-1. It's inside for ball 4. Elish walks to load the bases for the 59ers. The bases are full and nobody is out. Gobin singled, Dutton walked, and then Elish walks to load the bags for the 59ers. And Chase Nelson, the sophomore third baseman, bats with a 59er at every base and nobody out. His team leads by 6. First pitch, Nelson offers at it, puts it high in the air. It curls out of play. It bounces around in the seats. Starts the count off 0-1, and some fan must have just made a tremendous play as he gets a loud cheer from the Highland section. This starts out the count 0-1. Nelson with a pair of walks and a sacrifice bunt in this game. With the 0-1. Fastball outside, evens up the count, and a ball and a strike. It's Nelson, an underclassman in what's been a senior-heavy Andrean lineup. Lukács, another sophomore, he was just pinch hit for by Elish. The count 1-1 to Nelson, who's been on base twice tonight. Bats with the bases full. He takes that offering outside, moves the count to 2-1. Gobin at third, Dutton at second, and Elish at first. Gold settles with the glove at the belt, kicks and goes to the plate. The 2-1 pitch, he checks on it. Did he go far enough? He did not, according to the third base umpire. So that moves the count to 3 balls and a strike as the lights are starting to take effect. On this cloudy evening, the wind's blowing in, making it feel much cooler inside. Here's the 3-1 pitch. Nelson fouls it away, back over the press box and towards the street. So the count now full at 3-2. Nelson steps out of the left-handed batter's box, calls time. We get ready for the payoff pitch. With the bases full, there's nowhere to put Nelson. Gold needs a strike here. But instead, it's a fastball high and away. It's a walk to Nelson that will drive in a run, make it a 7-0 lead for Andrean. In to score is Gobin. Dutton goes from second to third. Elish from first to second. And Nelson with his third walk of the game. This time, it brings in a run. And now Blake Cowder bats with the bases full and nobody out for Andrean to lead off the top half, or not to lead off, here in the top half of the 6th inning. And now we're going to see a meeting at the mound for Highland. This might be it for Gold. So a slow walk out to the mound by the Highland head coach, Zach Pizer. There's a righty throwing in the bullpen. Not sure if we'll see him yet. I think we're just stalling is what they're doing at the mound as the bullpen door remains closed, and it was a rather slow walk, and I think this will just be a mound visit, so the home plate umpire is heading out there to tell him to move it along. Just getting more time for that righty, and there's a lot of work to do in this inning for Highland as nobody's out, the bases are full, one run is in already, and now you start to think, with the runner at first base, what he represents, the run rule could potentially be in play, and now Gold's going to depart from the game. After all that, we will now see a pitching change, so more on that thought in a moment. Stick around, you're watching coverage of the 2025 Class 3A Baseball Regional Championship on the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
Can't wait for summer, but dreading the heat because your old AC let you down? Don't sweat it out this summer. Call Economy Electric Heating and Cooling. The professionals there can fix you up. Install a central air unit that'll last for years. Your family deserves to stay comfortable. And with a 24/7 emergency service, comfort is just a phone call away. Give them a call at 219-923-4441 or check them out on the web at 4ajobdoneright.com.
Earn while you learn from the best hands in the business. The Bricklayers Allied Craftworkers for Indiana, Kentucky Apprenticeship. That's right, this is a paid apprenticeship.
I'm getting an education while learning a trade and getting paid for it.
The thing that surprised me the most about this apprenticeship program is the respect I have received after the proper time and training.
Classes start soon, so apply now. There are training centers throughout Indiana and Kentucky. We are the Bricklayers and Allied Craftworkers for Indiana, Kentucky Apprenticeship. The best hands in the business.
Brian Baker, the senior right-hander, is the new Enigenberg Exteriors home improvement hurler for the Highland Trojans. Baker 1-0 on the year with a 2.47 ERA. This is his 9th appearance. Baker has gone 17 innings on the mound with 13 hits against him. He has allowed 6 runs. They are all earned. He has walked 14 while striking out 16. He gets ready to work here with nobody out here in the top of the 6th inning, and the base is full. And the batter will be Blake Cowder. And as I was mentioning before, the break with that runner at first base now represents the base is full with a 7-0 lead. The run rule could be in effect if that runner at first and the 2 runners ahead of him, I should also add, score. It would be a 10-0 lead. And so then Highland all of a sudden goes from being with 6 outs remaining to just 3 on the bottom half of this inning. So the urgency could intensify for the Trojans as they would need to get a run on the board to try to not just extend the game, but extend their season here in this regional championship against Andrean. So Blake Cowder, he walked and scored in the second, drove in a run with a single in the third, struck out in the first, and lined out in the fourth. First pitch to Cowder from Baker is high for a ball, and again, nowhere to put Baker with the bases full. Andrean's going to have a righty getting loose. They're going to have Charlie Solers getting loose. He's not going all the way out to the bullpen. He's just playing catch in the warning track, and now this pitch by Calder put high in the air to center field. It's caught by Quigg. They're going to send the runner, and then he swims under the tag. What a play by Dutton to go under the tag and score. They had him out by a couple of steps. The catcher, Dapshus, was just standing there, as we see on the replay here. He was in front of him, and then the swim move by Dutton to get under it and score. So mark it as a RBI for Cowder, and so a fly out to center, and it drives in a run, and Dutton just avoids the double play, gets in to score the second run in this inning for Andrean. They have runners at second and third now as Elish over at third base, Nelson at second. The count 1-0 to Mason Barth. Barth gets ready for this next pitch out of the stretch. Barth tees it up high in the air to center. Quigg chases in the shortstop, and it goes out of the glove of Quigg. Hustling to the plate is Elish. Elish will score. It's a 9-0 lead for Andrean as that goes in and out of the glove of Quigg. That's a play he wants back. And then the throw to the plate is off the mark. It will score Elish, who walked. He moves all the way around. It's a 9-0 lead for Andrean. Nelson is the runner at second base. And now Caden Maxwell bats with 2 on and only 1 away. So that just a missed opportunity for Highland. Maybe, Barth and center fielder, he had to travel a long way in. The shortstop, Zikavica, couldn't quite get there either. And both of them might have been thinking about that throw down to the plate. And it just mishandled that allows a run to score. The count 1-0 to Maxwell. It's a 9-0 lead. 9 runs on 6 hits for Andrean. Count evened up at a ball and a strike to Maxwell. He singled and scored in the first. He walked in the third. He had a strikeout and a flyout as well. The next pitch outside makes it a 2-1 count, and now you do have a base open, but you want to try to get Maxwell out here to just stop the damage. It's been a 3-run 6th inning for Andrean, and still only 1 out. Runners at first and second. They could add to this. So Baker peeks to the catcher, now steps off to regroup. He looks to the runner at second. That's Nelson. Now goes to the plate for the 2-1. It's high and away. It goes out of the glove of Dapshis, and both runners will advance. Barth goes over to second base, and Nelson to third. So both runners are in scoring position now. And for Nelson, if he scores, that can make it a run rule scenario for the 59ers. 3 balls and a strike to Maxwell. The pitch. Fouls it away over the screen towards the suites. It pinballs around and falls back down to the lower level. So the count full at 3 balls and 2 strikes. After that foul ball by Maxwell. So Baker now with the count full, trying to get out of this at bat. The payoff pitch. Low and away for ball 4. It's Maxwell's second walk of the game. He's on base for the 3rd time. And the bases are full for the batter, Charlie Solers. So Solers with a teammate at every base. He had an RBI single in the second, reached on a fielder's choice in the third, and a flyout and a ground out as well. The first pitch to Solers, the right-handed batter, takes the fastball for a strike. So the count 0-1. The 0-1 pitch. Solers pokes it high in the air to right field. Klapkowski ranging over towards the grassy area along the right field line, but it goes foul well into that grassy berm, so the count 0-2. No balls and 2 strikes to Solers with only 1 away and the bases full. This is a big batter for Baker to try and get. And the 0-2. That's high and behind Solers. A nice rolling play by Dapshis to handle it. Count goes to a ball and 2 strikes. So righty on righty at bat. The 1-2 pitch. High and away. We go 2-2. So Andrean trying to punch their ticket. They could have a matchup with Delta, who took down Western 5-2 earlier today. The semi-state semifinals would be the next challenge. Solers grounds this over to second base. They're going to make the throw towards the plate. They will retire Nelson with the force out, so the fielder's choice played well by Highland. The bases will remain full as Barth goes from second to third, Maxwell from first to second, and Solers reaches base on that. And the designated hitter, Stephen Mack, will bat. He is the 9th batter to step up to the plate for Andrean in this inning. They have scored 3 runs. There are 2 away, and the bases are full. Mack singled and scored in the first. He walked in the second inning. Then he flew out in the third and grounded out in the 5th. Takes a high fastball from Baker. Starts off the count 1-0. As time is called while Andrean tries to set up a pitcher and catcher to warm up in the warning track area on the first baseline. I believe that's Brannigan, so they're trying to get him to stay loose as he's had a lengthy time away since his last pitch. So 1-0 with 2 down in the inning. There's a white jersey on every base. or to be exact, a few feet away from every base as they all have a lead. Mack puts this one high in the air to center field. Quigg chasing in for it. He's really hustling. He will make the catch for out number 3. So Andrean bats around. They score 3 times on just 1 hit. It's now a 9-0 lead for the 59ers over Highland. You're watching coverage of the 2025 Class 3A Baseball Regional Championship on the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
Have you been to Bada Boom Fireworks in Lowland, Demont yet? They have it all, big and small, from sparklers, spinners, and bottle rockets to artillery shells and aerial repeaters. Visit Bada Boom in Lowland, Demont and choose from hundreds of items, including cakes, fountains, Big Daddy canister shells, and so much more. Put your love for America on full display this 4th of July. Celebrate our nation's independence and style with an assortment of fun and spectacular fireworks from Bada Boom Fireworks in Lowell and Demont.
The Athletic Performance Factory is Northwest Indiana's premier athletic training center. The 40,000 square foot state-of-the-art facility features batting cages, a sand training room, a new outdoor turf infield, and so much more. Check out the facility for one of their daily classes at 3150 45th Street in Highland. Interested in signing up for team workouts or individual lessons? Check out their website at trainapf.com or contact them at 219-750-1087. Athletic Performance Factory, where athletes are made.
Blythe's Team Sports in Valparaiso is a leader in athletics apparel and equipment sales. With in-house production, including screen printing, trophies, embroidery, and more, Blythe's can help you to create the perfect look. For more information, visit them online at teamblythes.com. Blythe's Team Sports in Valparaiso, where the athletes shop.
Welcome back to the 2025 Class 3A Baseball Regional Championship right here on the Region Sports Network. 9 runs on 6 hits for Andrean, as Highland, no runs on 1 hit. They will look to try to work a comeback here as we begin the bottom of the 6th. And the batters will be Dapshis, Klapkowski, and Washik, although we might have some changes for Andrean of the defensive variety. I believe we have Miller Stahlbaum playing first base. Dapshis will take the at-bat, so Stahlbaum in place of Maxwell at first. Waiting for the official announcements, but I was able to eyeball that one. And so now the lineup cards being broken out. We might see some pinch hitters for Highland, or they're just getting news of the changes by Andrean. So that's still Nelson at third, just looking around the diamond while talking out loud here. There's also going to be activity in the bullpen for Andrean. Highland has a righty throwing in the pen. It's still Brannigan on the mound for Andrean. I'll just wait for the PA to announce who's all in because it makes it easier for me. I just wait and get told that info. First pitch by Brannigan, low for a ball. Brannigan pitching to Dapshis, who is 0 for 2 with a pair of strikeouts. Stahlbaum, the new first baseman, Miller, the sophomore. The 1-0, fouled away. Count evens up at a ball and a strike. But for Dapshis, you're trying to avoid going down on strikes for the 3rd time tonight and also trying to help your team get back in this game. I know you can't do it with one swing of the bat, but this might help. It's flared towards left field, but moving over to make the catch is Solers, and he does for out number 1. The batter now is David Klapkowski, or is it? It is not. It's Ryan Sobkowitz, the senior. He's listed as a pitcher and plays some outfield as well. So Ryan's stats, he's 250 on the year. This will be his 11th at bat. He fouls that one away. So you're getting at bats for some seniors as well in what could be their final game of their career in some cases. Next pitch called a strike, so 0-2. Sobkowitz down against Brannigan. The 0-2. He chases after it, puts it in the air in foul territory, but Stahlbaum reaches over and makes the catch. That is the second out of the inning. So Sobkowitz flares that one out, and now Cash Washik will bat for Highland. Cash bats left-handed against the southpaw in Brannigan. This will be the second meeting between Washik and Brannigan. He struck out looking in the fourth inning. First pitch, low in the dirt for ball one. Makes it a 1-0 count. Brannigan winds and fires. This one poked over the screen and into the crowd. Evens count up at a ball and a strike. Maybe a new right fielder for Andrean, trying to get a look at his number. Andrean, they do not have numbers on the front of their jerseys, so that makes it a little difficult. But a ball and 2 strikes, the count. The windup from Brannigan, the 1-2 is outside. It skips behind the catcher, but there's not a runner on base, so that does not become a problem for him. So 2s across the board here. 2 balls, 2 strikes, and 2 away here in the last of the 6th inning. And Brannigan steps off the rubber. We'll look to regroup as he is trying to retire Washik. The 2-2 pitch. Fastball away, makes it a full count. 3-2. So now Brannigan winds for the payoff pitch. This one fouled away, so good swing by Washik to extend the at-bat. And just keep this inning going. So the full count, the pitch, that's high and inside. It's a 2-out walk for Washik, and that brings Brady Boyd up to bat. So the walks have been the main way to get on base for Highland, as we talked about it. Only a few baseballs put in play tonight by the Trojans, and Boyd taps this one along the third base line. Brannigan gathers it. He rolls over and throws, but he airmails it over the first baseman's head. So that will get Boyd on base for the second time tonight. And Washik goes from first to third on the play. That was, so a left-handed pitcher in Brannigan going to the third base line. He picked it up and then rolled to his right and had to throw while his left arm was going backwards, so he loads up and just launches it away. He was probably better off just holding on to that one. That will be an error that put Boyd on base for the second time tonight. Boyd had the lone hit of the day for the Trojans, and he gets on base for the second time today after putting a ball in play. Foul ball by Vandermeiden to start the count off 0-1. Brannigan throws over to first base. Washik, the runner, goes from first to third on that error by Brannigan. So 0-1 the count. The next pitch from the lefty Brannigan. Fastball misses inside, evens it up at a ball and a strike. Now out of the stretch, the breakthrough pitch. Brannigan gets him to swing over that off-speed delivery. Good movement as the bottom really dropped out on that. A ball and 2 strikes with 2 runners out, 2 Trojans out, and runners at first and second. The 1-2. Breaking ball away. We'll go even at 2-2. Brannigan looks at the runners at either station. Now to the plate, his 2-2 pitch. Lofted in the air towards the right center gap. Moving back for it is Lukács, and he gets there, makes the catch on the run for out number 3. So the Trojans threaten. They get 2 runners on base, but cannot bring them across the plate. We are through 6 innings. Andrean leads Highland 9-0. You're watching coverage of the 2025 Class 3A Baseball Regional Championship on the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
Thinking about what to do after high school? Consider a career with Boilermakers Local 374. As a Boilermaker apprentice, you'll earn while you learn. We offer excellent wages and benefits, and as part of our no-cost hands-on apprenticeship program, you'll learn from the best in state-of-the-art training centers and on the job. Become a union Boilermaker and get on your way to a great career. Find out more, visit www.local374.org or call 219-845-1000.
Some see a wrestling match. We see a 6-minute lesson in grit. Some see a coach sending a runner home. We see a mentor guiding a student athlete into the future. Proud to keep education in front of athletics since 1903.
Welcome back to the 2025 Class 3A Baseball Regional Championship right here on the Region Sports Network. As we start the 7th inning, Andrean leads Highland 9-0. Baker stays on the hill for the Trojans. There might be some defensive changes. We'll wait for those updates as well, because we saw Sobkowitz pinch hit, but I believe Phillips stays in the game at third base. He was pinch hitting for Klapkowski, who, well, he's the right fielder, so we'll see. Pulling back the batter, and there's no batter in the game for Andrean. This will be Cade Dorr. So the last out, let's see, was made by Mack. So Dorr batting in place of Luke Gobin. Dorr, a junior outfielder. The 2-0 pitch. Low and away, we go 3-0. And there's a pinch hitter on deck as well, Liam DeKerf. The 3-0. Called strike 1. So Dorr batting in place of Luke Gobin, who reached base 3 times in this game. The 3-1 pitch. Called strike 2. Loads up the count. 3 balls and 2 strikes to the leadoff man, Dorr. So for Andrean, you want to get through this next inning clean and then try to get those final 3 outs. It's a leadoff walk to Dorr. So a 6-pitch walk. And taking a look at the softball scores around the regions in the semi-state Class 4A championship. Crown Point leads Penn at the end of the 4th inning. So the Bulldogs trying to extend their postseason run, and we'll see pinch hitter in place of Jet Dutton. Being told that's Ryan Murphy, although the roster won't go off what the PA announcer said. No, that's Liam DeKerf. I was looking at the wrong roster. DeKerf singles that one to left field. So DeKerf singles and moves the runner to second base, and Brady Ellish remains in the game. He bats with nobody out and runners at first and second. So the bench mob starting to make their way in for Andrean. Ellish was one of those first substitutions. He stays in the game. So Elish swings over that first pitch. It's an 0-1 count. Baker looks to the runner at second, goes to the plate. Fastball away. Even at a ball and a strike. Elish walked and scored in his lone plate appearance, so he's been used as a pinch runner, courtesy runner a couple of times. Waves over that fastball from Baker. Count goes to a ball and 2 strikes. Nobody out. 2 runners on for the 59ers. And here comes the 1-2. Elish swings and misses for strike 3. It's a punch out for Baker. And it's the first out of the 7th inning. And another pinch hitter in for Andrean. This will be Rocco Allegretti. Allegretti, the junior first baseman. Allegretti, a defensive lineman on the Trojan football team, or the 59ers football team. He'll be taking his first at-bat of the day against Baker. First pitch, fastball outside, makes it a 1-0 count. Baker looks down, throws the 1-0, and Allegretti waves over it to even the count up at a ball and a strike. So runners at first and second, 1 down. The 1-1 pitch, high and away, makes it a 2-1 count. So Allegretti getting his first at-bat of the game. And he's ahead in this AB, 2 balls and a strike. Here's the pitch. Low, we go 3-1. So now for Baker, you don't want to walk the bases full. Dorr walked to start the inning. DeKirk singled. You got Elish to strike out, and now Allegretti with the 3-1 count. Here's the next pitch. Called strike 2 will go full. Allegretti did not offer as that one was moving towards the hitter. Some good bite on that pitch. Andrean softball is up 2-0 after 5 in their semi-state championship. The payoff pitch. Swing and a miss by Allegretti. Back-to-back punch-outs for Baker to record the 2 outs here in the 7th. Let's see who we have walking up to the plate here. Is that Blake Cowder? It is not. That's Dakota Salmons. So Salmons, the senior catcher, will take his first at-bat of this ballgame against Baker. First pitch to the outer corner, called strike 1. So Andrean emptying the bench here against the Trojans. The 0-1, fouled away. Matt Kulig, the batter on deck, also a pinch hitter. But the count 0-2. We'll see if it gets that far. The 0-2 pitch. Fastball away. A ball and 2 strikes with 2 down, 2 on. And no runs in this inning for the 59ers. Baker kicks and fires. The 1-2 fouled away towards the press box and back towards the crowd. Count stays 1-2. Trojans in the bottom half of this inning will be down to their final 3 outs. The 1-2. He had to reach low for it and fouls it away, so staying alive is Salmons. See if it's still Brannigan out on the mound or if they bring in another new pitcher. It's been a good day pitching. That's low for a ball. Count evens up at 2 balls and 2 strikes. The 2-2 pitch. Jammed high in the air. The third baseman, Phillips, is calling for it along the third base line. He will make the catch for out number 3. So the top half of the 7th inning sees Andrean go down scoreless. We head to the bottom half. Stick around. You're watching coverage of the 2025 Class 3A Baseball Regional Championship on the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
At Strachan Van Til, we believe grocery shopping should be simple. Now, shopping is easier than ever with our new and improved website. Find what you need fast. Browse your favorite products, add them to your cart, and check out in just a few quick steps. Choose between convenient in-store pickup or let us handle the heavy lifting. From our shelves to your doorstep. Skip the lines, shop your way, and spend more time on what matters most. With our rewards program, enjoy incredible savings and personalized offers every time you shop. Shop online now at strachanvantil.com or download our app today.
Thinking about what to do after high school? Consider a career with Boilermakers Local 374. As a Boilermaker apprentice, you'll earn while you learn. We offer excellent wages and benefits, and as part of our no-cost hands-on apprenticeship program, you'll learn from the best in state-of-the-art training centers and on the job. Become a union Boilermaker and get on your way to a great career. Find out more, visit www.local374.org or call 219-845-1000.
Starting the bottom of the 7th inning, we'll have a whole host of defensive changes, so I'll run through those momentarily. Elish is in center field. Dorr in right field. Mason Barth is pitching. That's one of the bigger ones. Stahlbaum still at first. Gage at third. And there will be a new catcher. I believe that will be Salmons after he finishes putting on the gear. But with Mason Barth pitching, he's another Enigenberg Exteriors home improvement hurler. So Barth, who we've seen pitch at times this year, mainly a middle infielder, will take over on the hill for the 59ers, and he will look to lock down the final 3 outs. Barth, the Notre Dame commit, has been a standout shortstop this evening, but now will take over on the hill. At the plate, Barth, a single, a walk, a hit by pitch, another walk, and then reached on an error. So he was on base 5 times. And the Trojans, they might break out the lineup card as well. I believe it'll be Zekovica to lead off if he's not replaced. He's swinging in the on-deck circle, so I think he will face Barth. Slavin on deck to follow him, and then Quigg, if that all goes to plan, although Logan Finch is also swinging a bat, so he will likely be pinch hitting for one of those next batters. So here we go. Barth to try to close it out for the 59ers. Barth against Zekovica, who is 0 for 2 today, with a strikeout and a flyout. So righty-on-righty matchup as Barth looks to try to pick up some outs for the 59ers as they look to move along to the state championship. They last played for state 2022. It was their last state championship. They were runners-up in 23, I should add. So they've been to state a lot in recent memory. State champs in 22, 2019, 2018, 2015, 2014, 2010, 2009, and 2005. Sixteen-time regional champions, trying to add another one here. Barth, though, walks the leadoff man, Zekovica. And so the batter, this will be a pinch hitter in place of Slavin. This will be Logan Finch.
Now batting for Highland, number 6, Logan Finch.
So Finch gets ready to take some hacks against Barth in the bottom of the 7th with a runner at first base. So Finch in place of Slavin. Barth works with a runner on first base. Pitches out of the stretch here. Speeds a fastball inside. So the count goes to 1-0. A strike is called. Finch does not offer. The 1-1. Inside for strike. Well, it's inside the zone for strike 2. So Barth gets ahead, a ball and 2 strikes. Nearly a completely new lineup for Andrean here in the 7th as Finch fouls that one away. But it's been a group effort tonight, and that will make it a challenge when handing out our post-game awards, as several players have battled. First pitch. Next pitch taken for a ball to even count up at 2-2. The 2-2, skip towards Barth. He throws over to second, handled by Nelson. He throws to first in time. It's a 1-6-3 double play. So now the Trojans down to their final out. And it'll be Caden Quigg, the senior center fielder. First pitch to Quigg from Barth, fouled down the first baseline. So well done by Barth to get to that ground ball. Throw over to Nelson at short, who then threw to Stahlbaum at first to complete the 1-6-3 twin killing. And now the 0-1 count, the pitch to Quigg. Fastball for strike 2. The Trojans now down to their last strike here in the bottom of the 7th inning, trailing 9-0. Quigg gets ready for the pitch from Barth. Just misses to make it a 1-2 count. Ball and 2 strikes to the top of the order, and Quigg, the delivery from Barth. Swing and a miss for strike 3. That will do it. Andrean defeats Highland 9-0 here at the Steel Yard as they secure their 17th regional championship. They will move along on their trip down to the semi-state round with this dominant win over Highland 9-0. So you see the handshake line, both teams congratulating each other. Andrean with their 3rd win over Highland this season, and Highland making history with their first sectional championship since 2000. It was a great run. It might sting right now, but there was a lot to be proud of for that team this season, although it just ends in heartbreaking fashion. But later on, they will certainly be remembered for the team that made some history for their school. So as we see the on-field celebration taking place, we will get ready to hand out some awards of our own. So just awaiting that trophy presentation to Andrean. It's been a good season for the 59ers. They improved to 28-3 on the year. They've won their last 3, and you look at their regular season did end with a loss, but they've been able to shake that off and just keep the postseason going. A 22-1 win over River Forest, and then a 5-2 win over Hanover Central in the sectional championship, and now a 9-0 win over Highland in the regional championship. That's been a good run for Andrean, and for Highland, their season ends at 17-14. There's the trophy being presented to Andrean. Andrean will playing the semi-state semifinals against Delta on Saturday, next Saturday that is. But so let's go ahead, name some award winners for this game. It's time to name the Crowell Companies Lantern Man superhero of the game, Crowell Companies, the business professionals. We'll hand this one out to Ivan Mastalski, the starting pitcher for Andrean. He went 3 scoreless innings with no hits against, with only 2 walks and 7 strikeouts. Really did a good job of overpowering the bats from Highland. And now let's name the blue-collar player of the game, brought to you by Boilermakers Local 374. We'll go with Mason Barth for that one. Barth reached base 5 times in this game, scored twice. He singled, had 2 walks, was hit by a pitch, and reached on an error. Just doing a good job to make his way on. He also threw a scoreless inning of relief ball and had some good defensive plays. More on that in a moment. Boilermakers Local 374. Learn about apprenticeship programs and more at local374.org. And now for the Ironworkers 395 play of the game, presented by Ironworkers Local 395. Ironworkers Local 395. For more information on the apprenticeship program, check out ironworkers395.com. We'll talk about Mason Barth. Let's go back to a play he made. This play to end the 4th inning. It was a great diving stop on a ground out. The batter was Keaton Vandermeiden, and Barth made a rolling stop and was able to stay planted, made a just spectacular throw across the diamond to retire Vandermeiden. It was an absolute gem, a top-notch play by Barth, and it was able to keep a runner off the board, prevent, there was already a runner on base for Highland at that point, and that play by Barth just able to shut down whatever rally Highland could have put together. But that was tonight's Ironworkers 395 play of the game, presented by Ironworkers Local 395 Union Strong. A big thank you to everyone involved with tonight's broadcast, to our management team at Region Sports, Chris Ramirez, Rich Castillo, Zach Miller, and Mike Dewan, to my broadcast crew of Zach Miller and Adam Karchap. Both great job by both of you guys all evening long, pulling double duty today as well. To the coaches from each side, Dave Pishkir from Andrean and Chance Sharp of Highland, to the athletic directors Neil Demos of Andrean and Ryan Harrington of Highland, and to the viewers at the IHSAA Champions Network. This is Leo Stodder thanking you for watching all night long. You've been watching coverage of Game Night on the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.